a mom, a woman, a sister, a daughter, a friend, all those adjectives. Um, Clinical social worker, I'm working on getting licensed. That means that I can provide therapy from a factual, evidence based state of point, supervised by the state of California. Anyways, so I'm here with M&M Project Hope Psychology. We do free health and wellness groups in the community. We just provide education. We don't just. We provide education about wellness, about how everything affects your mental health and how mental health is tied into everything else that is related to the body. Because you know the brain and the heart is what's keeping it all together. So if they're not well, the other stuff in the body's not well too. So today we're talking about how that relates to money because it's all connected. Um, M&M is at a few places in the community. We're the primary mental health provider at elite public schools. And so we have some of our, yes, right? That's groundbreaking work over there. And so we have our interns are on the front lines over there getting down and dirty, helping the kids exist and be better and learn different ways than what they're being shown, or just know that there's other ways to express and feel your emotions in the world. So it's hard work, and thank you all for doing that. We have other clinicians who are up and coming, and a lot of us are African Americans, and that is where there's a discrepancy due to like history, and then we're not going to get that deep today, but you know, that's why that's some of the ways and why in which we show up the way we do. And so those are behaviors that we can change, and that's part of the work that we do, and knowing that just because you know something doesn't mean that's the way you have to be all the time, every day, for the rest of your life. So thank you all for being here. Thank you to all the presenters who showed up, and we hope to learn something new at the end. Hopefully you can share, we can pick up popcorn a few and share something that you learned today that maybe you didn't know when you walked in the doors. So actually, I'm gonna have one of our participants, Gabby, come up and share about our agenda today.
All right. Good morning, everyone. I'm Gabrielle. So, our upcoming events. So, like she mentioned, we have our weekly men's and women's empowerment groups. Our session, our part one, will end March 19th. Is every Thursday night, 6:30 to 8 p.m. Part two will start April 9th and will go weekly until June 4th. We also have our monthly parenting workshop. The next one is occurring March the 17th, and then we'll have April 21st, May 19th, and June 9th. March 18th, we have our Stephen Manor game night that we will be participating in. It'll be great for, you know, kids and families. March 20th, also great for kids and families, Vallejo High School Flavors of Fun. March 21st, we will be participating in the iHeart Mental Health Screening. That will be located at 2 Florida Street. April 4th, we have the Easter egg hunt at Patriot Park in Suisun City. There will be arts, crafts, raffles, giveaways, games, jumpers, photos, and the best free food. That's always great, free food. April 11th, we have the Birth Justice Resource Fair, where they will have resources and connections for better birth outcomes. And so now we will have Dana and Marquetta with their presentation.
And Chisra. Yes. Marquita, Chis, introduce yourselves. Tell the people something.
Uh, yeah. I just want to introduce myself. I'm Marquetta. I'm a licensed marriage family therapist. Been licensed for a minute now. It feels like a long time. I'm also the director and founder of M&M Project Hope. And I'm so proud, first of all, of this team. What's up, Ray? What's up, Demetrius, Christian, Gab? I got it, Denise. I got to call y'all out. Dana, Chisra, these are my assistant directors. And so they've been my day ones. And so to sit with them is an honor. And Chisora is newly licensed. Dana will be licensed in a short period of time. And so she's accepting clients just in case you were looking for a therapist. And just had to throw that out there. Actually, all of the interns can actually accept clients under my supervision. So if you're looking for a therapist, they are awesome. Demetrius is about to be licensed too soon. Yeah. And so we have the hope that what we present today, you guys will take something from it. We're going to start with the psychology of money, but I want Chisora to introduce herself and tell you guys a little bit about her.
Hi, I am Chisora Okehi. Like she said, I'm a newly licensed clinical social worker here in California, so that I'm excited about just saying that out loud. I am an educator and advocate for mental health and just connecting with the community and sharing information and strategies how to cope with life, because life can be hard. And most of us don't have the tools. So education is one of my passions. And I am so just glad to be a part of this team. Marquetta is our founder and the inspiration. And I'm excited about today and to share what poverty trauma is and how it's included in the psychology of money and how we view money. So thank you guys for being here today.
Hello. Okay. All right. I don't like sitting down. Is that okay that I stand up and walk? All right. So first of all, we're going to talk about the psychology of money. We're going to understand the role of money in the world, right? Sometimes we don't necessarily understand money, so we don't know how to spend it appropriately, or we are too afraid to spend it, or the opposite, we going to overspend. And so we're going to just talk about how our childhood that was an impact of how we look at money. So in a small group, a group of 3 to 4, look around. It's okay. You guys have to split up. You guys know each other. So in a small group of 3 or 4, so I'm a count. I'm gonna start with you, Abby. You say 1, 2, say 3, and you say 4. Okay, we're gonna start over 1. Say 1, Marlene. 2. You, Mia. Okay. 1. Christine, 2. No. Okay. All right. So all my ones come here. You got to get up and move. Y'all thought y'all was going to be sitting. We don't do that. Y'all came to the wrong workshop, okay? Y'all came to the wrong. All my 1s are here. All my 2s here. Hi, boo. Hi, boo. Okay. This is a part of parenting. All my 2s here. Okay. All my 3s is where Demetrius is. And the 4s in the middle right here. Go with your dad. Go with your dad. Okay. In your small group. Okay. I want you to discuss the following question. So write it down. Think about it. Ramel, can you go to that slide number 3? Who provided your first financial education? Who provided you with your first financial education? Who provided you with your first financial ed? What did that person, thing, or idea teach you? And what was the most impactful lesson you learned about money? What was the most impactful lesson? Who was your first person to teach you about money? What did they teach you? And how did that impact you? You discuss it in a small group. So tell your story in a small group about money. You know, back in the day, people used to say, you got to pinch them pennies. And you learn something about that, right? So somebody told me scared money don't make money. And you learn something about that. So talk about that in your small group. Hello. One more minute, and then we're going to have a share out. One more minute.
Oh, she dressed herself this morning. I like that you have on our shirt because you're part of the team. High five. You're our CEO. You keep us on track.
Okay. Let's come back together. Okay. I'm not going to cut you off. Go ahead. Keep going, Angie. I'm going to let you finish that sentence. That's disrespectful. That's disrespectful of me to cut you off. No, I'm just playing. 1 minute. Go ahead. Yeah, no. You can wrap up. You guys can wrap up too. Yeah. I'm fine. That was the place. I hate to stop the conversation. You guys got some good stuff going. Okay. Let's come back together. Okay. What did you guys learn over here? You want no. Okay. What did if anybody minds sharing something that they shared out in this group and they learned about somebody else? You don't have to put your business out there, but you can.
Okay, hi. I'm just gonna turn around. Hello. I guess the one thing that kind of stuck out for me in our conversation in this group is just the, what was it? Like, we just have experienced different ways of learning. We have a wide gap of age group in here, and I found it really interesting that, you learned your money knowledge from when you were in high school because you had a budgeting class. And for me, I'm like, we didn't have that. We, our generation, they just stopped teaching us about how to finance, budget, whatever. And so I thought that was really interesting that you were able to experience that in high school, because that's something that I think the three of us especially did not ever experience. So.
All right. What about this group?
So I think a trend of our conversation that we had was each of us learned about finances differently at different stages of our lives. Personally, alongside my brother right here, we kind of learned the hard way in college. So it's a delayed experience versus some of our peers who might have learned earlier on, right? So I think that's the moral or the common connection.
So what did you learn in college, though? You spent money. Yeah. Oh, everything goes on the credit, and you just putting everything on the credit. I remember when Mervin's was here, okay, and Christmas I was going all out. Everybody in my family was getting something, okay. Yeah, and then you putting it on layaway. Anybody remember layaway? Some of our younger, okay. They don't know about layaway, but layaway was the hookup. You went in Ross, you said, lay this away, right? And so we had half the store in layaway. I don't know about you, but that was me. That was my experience. Yeah.
So in our group, we learned at different stages also, but both their parents were from the South, and we learned about credit, saving, and owning, but we didn't learn what goes into all of that. So learn about credit, but then learn, okay, well, you got to pay the credit card bill, and this ain't your money. You borrowing this. Learn that you got to own, but you got to have something on the side for repairs and other expenses that come up, and you got to save, but how to save properly, we didn't learn all those things.
Yeah, that's a good one. Yeah, own, but you got to pay for that roof when it own, but if them pipes break and the water start flooding the house and you forgot to pay that insurance, yeah, right? Okay, I'm gonna go to this group. To me? No? Yeah. Okay.
If I do like a comparison. Okay. So we had a fantastic conversation back here. What we found was really interesting was the two ladies back here. They got taught at a young age about saving money and really spacing your money out and investing, versus me and my brother right here. We're playing hot and cold. We weren't taught to save money. We were observing what to do, what not to do. But even so, we're playing that hot and cold game where there's peaks and valleys. And for most time, there's a lot more valleys than peaks. But other than that, it was a very good conversation, and I appreciate you guys so much.
You wanted to share? Okay, hold on, guys. This is a workout now.
Hi, you guys. Oh, goodness. I just wanted to share what I learned about finances. At least one of the earliest things that I was taught was to not max out the credit card. That's what I was taught. I learned based off of the mistakes of my parents, and they just kept drilling that in us at an early age. So before I even had a credit card, they were telling me about it, and I kind of brushed it off until I got my credit card, which was, yeah. But, yeah, I just learned to, pay the bill as soon as possible, pay it all in full, and not do the minimum payments, and then to also, if I can, not have a car note. So I paid my car in full when I got it, so I owned it, and yeah, that's all.
You see, I didn't learn that. I learned go get the fancy car in the back of the lot and drive off. And then your car note is $900. And you can't make the first payment. That's right? Go to the next slide. Slide number 6. Okay. And then next slide. I want to talk about my life, right? How I learned about money. I'm not the best money management, but I will say it was at a point. Anybody remember cash, check cashing places? Anybody had a loan from them? Well, cash advance. The interest rate was 110%, right? They was making money off of me. So I was in this place because I think around 17, 18, got my own apartment, thought I was doing something. Thank you, Nana, for helping bail me out. Nana helped me bail me because I wasn't knowing how to pay rent. This is life, right? But I was like, okay, I'm going to go to the cash advance, and this is going to help me supplement my income, and then I'm going to just, right? So I kept getting advances, and this is all I knew about money until I was in over my head. And you can get cash advances. Don't do this. I'm telling you the story for you not to do this, okay? You can go to 3 different places, right? So now I'm balling, right? 'Cause I got 300 from them, I got 300 from them, and 300 over there. I don't need none, okay? I'm doing this. That's not how that worked, okay? I had to pay it back. And I was like, wait, my check only. So I got to pay my whole check back and the extra $300, right? So I kept going in a hole, and I watched my family members borrow a lot, right? This is how I learned about money. Oh, auntie gonna have it. Go on and ask her $50. Go on and ask cousin so-and-so, they working for $25. If you piecemeal it together, I learned this from watching my family. So this was a part of me that I wanted to break, right? So I didn't necessarily ask people for money. I went to the lenders that weren't really lenders. They were sharks, right? And I got so far in the hole that I couldn't even breathe. Debt will cause you not to be able to breathe, right? You go home and you work, and it's like, it's gonna be gone. So one day I reached out to my sister-in-law, because she had this thing called a budget. I didn't even know that existed. Where Marlene got budgeted, I didn't know budget existed because that wasn't a conversation we had about how to manage your money, how to make sure you're not overspending. I'll go to that sob. So my mom and dad, when they were married, this was it. This was the vehicle of all vehicles. This is what I learned about money. You got to get the Saab with the leather seats, because that shows your wealth. That shows your value. So what I learned was value was attached to things. Does this make sense? Value is only attached if you got a house, if you wearing the Reeboks and the Fila outfit. You know what I mean? That's not your value. You are your biggest asset, and you are the biggest value you have. The ability to think That's an asset. If you can think, there are people who can't think, right? They want to have the right mind to think, but you are your biggest value. Jet Magazine was out back then, so they showed me something. You gotta have the latest. You see Anita Baker up there, okay? This was our, these were people who we looked to. And I put showbiz up there because I just thought it was a funny picture. To be honest, I want y'all to remember showbiz, okay? Those who grew up in Vallejo in the 80s, we had this. And so this was part of you had to do something, right? You had to go hang out and spend money. You had to have the latest car, and you had to look the greatest. That's where I learned value, but that is not your value. So I had to rewire my thinking around money. She went over a budget, and my budget every month said -6 once I let her see, because you got to let somebody see where you're at. If you don't want them to see where you're at, it's cool. But I allowed her, that was the most vulnerable part of my life, is to allow somebody to see that I was in debt every month. So I got paid bi-weekly, but I was $600 negative every 2 weeks. And I was commuting to Oakland. I was living in an apartment, had to pay, I was -600 every check, which is why I had to get 300 here, 300, right? And so once she laid out for me everything, she said, this is what you're gonna tackle first. You're trying to tackle everything else. Focus on one thing at a time. And so we had the budget, and then because, I don't know about y'all, but I was in check system. Anybody been there? Where they say, you can't write no more checks, ma'am, because every time your account is negative. So I had to do envelopes with money in them. This is specifically for PG&E. This is specifically for lunch. This is specifically, and that was my check. And then I would pay back, because if I put it in the checking account, it was gone, because it was already negative. So I had to create this whole system. There was no cable. There was no going out. It was me and my son for 5 years, just discipline. We're gonna do the envelopes. People even laughed at me because I did envelopes, but they didn't understand the financial part of that. It taught me discipline. Once that money is gone for the envelope, there's nothing else. Don't use your credit card, and don't think the bank, because they're gonna charge $35 every time that negative hit. Every time. Y'all experience that? So I used them envelopes. Marlene helped me out one time too. I will say that I have to honor these people because they don't remember how, well, maybe Nana do. She like, I'm still helping you. But they don't remember, Marlene helped me out with a car. I didn't have transportation. She don't remember this. And she was like, I got you. Literally, these people helped me without my sister-in-law, without my nana, without Pastor it was his pocket too, because they married. So I will say that without them helping me out and literally doing the envelopes, I would have been stuck in that rabbit hole. And without me being vulnerable and showing somebody my debt, I tried to do work with people on their finances. They didn't want to show me what they had. It was like, they thought I was a con artist, but I said, no, this is how raw you have to be with your finances. And then I had to want it so bad that everything else didn't matter. That means going to hang out at Showbiz didn't matter. Going to hang out, I couldn't hang out with my friends and go do the big parties and all that. I got my 5-year-old, as long as he got socks and I can go to the library for free, I'm good, right? I had to change my mind about what really mattered and understand I'm the biggest value. As long as I can think, as long as I can put some money, numbers on paper, I'm my biggest value. So that's how I changed my mindset. But I'm gonna let Chisora talk about trauma, poverty trauma. And this is our newest member, Mahogany, okay.
Can you hear me? All right. So I want to talk about how do we get to that mindset, the whole psychology behind money, okay? So before we start talking about budgets and credit scores or wealth mindset, we have to talk about how we got there and talk about something deeper. Um, oh, we have to talk about our own emotional relationship with money, because money is just not about numbers on a spreadsheet. Money carries memories, fear, shame, survival, our identity, and money carries a lot of trauma as well. Um, for many people, especially people who grew up in poverty or had financial instability throughout their lives, money is tied to stress. We grew up hearing our parents cry over money, argue over money, fight over money, and a lot of times we were just in survival mode and didn't have any security around money. So, and that often shapes our behaviors in ways that we often don't realize as we become adults. So one question I want you guys to ask, one question I want to ask you guys is, I want you to think about this question I'm going to ask and raise your hand if any one of these statements that you've heard throughout your life. One of them is money doesn't grow on trees. Okay, I think we've all heard that. We can't afford that. Oh, almost everyone. Money is the root of all evil. Okay. And rich people are greedy. Okay. So these statements may sound small, but when you're a child and you hear them repeatedly, that begins to form your beliefs around money. And if you heard that constantly, that's wrapped in our brains often. And psychologists call these statements money scripts. And these are scripts and narratives that we tell ourselves as we grow up. And research in behavioral finance and psychology shows that our financial behaviors as adults are strongly influenced by early childhood financial experiences. Okay, so what is poverty trauma? Poverty trauma happens when financial instability creates chronic stress or insecurity during childhood or adulthood. All right, so if you had food insecurity, housing instability, your parents constantly worried about bills, or you were watching your parents or caregivers struggle or fight for money on the daily basis, those scripts were written all over us. And being told certain opportunities were not possible because we didn't have finances. And I'll kind of share some of my story. My parents were married for about 15 years, and then there was a divorce. So I went from having a two-parent household and income and a comfortable life to being with a single mother with 3 kids. So we didn't have opportunities to go to summer camp or to get new school clothes. We had to shop at Goodwill because my mom just didn't have it. She was barely surviving, taking care of us, and our dad wasn't financially contributing. So I grew up having a scarcity mindset that I can't afford that, I can't do that, that's not available to me. So that was the script that was written over me growing up. And our brain interprets these experiences as a threat or survival situations. Chronic financial stress activates the body's stress response system, increasing our cortisol in our bodies, and it shapes long-term emotional patterns around scarcity and safety. So I felt that if I didn't have a certain amount of money in the bank, that I was going to be broke or homeless. So I didn't do extra stuff, take the trips and have the fun, because I was always worried about having security because of that scarcity mindset. So over time, what happens is your brain learns that money is survival, that money is not freedom, money is not an opportunity, money is not growth, it's just that you're surviving. So another thing I want to ask you guys is turn to the person next to you and answer this question. What is one message you received about money growing up? And I'll give you guys about 30 seconds. All right, about 10 more seconds. All right, so now I want you to think about this. How many of those messages were rooted in fear or limitation rather than possibility? All of them, right? Yeah, so that is poverty trauma. When you grow up in situations like that and we don't even realize that that's what's going on with us. So poverty trauma does not disappear when someone starts making money. It often shows up in adult financial behaviors in very specific ways. And Dana's going to share some of those with you.
All right, here we go. So we're talking about scarcity mindset. And some people constantly feel like there will never be enough money even when they're financially stable. And when I hear that, they're probably not managing their money. I'm not even reading off this paper. So they overwork, they hoard money, they feel anxious about spending even on necessities. And I think from my own experience, we're not worried about the necessities come first. So we shouldn't be worried about that because that's top of the list. So for me, necessities is my mortgage is always going to be paid, and I'm going to pay my life insurance. Because if you're paying for your life insurance, it'll take care of you in the future. They're going to talk about that later, though. That's not my forte. But I'm telling you, though, that's where it's at. And then there's financial avoidance, and others respond in the opposite way. So looking at finances triggers anxiety, shame, and overwhelm. And I think that's very real in the times that costs are going up. And you're going to have to adjust how you're managing your money, too. So what that looks like is checking their bank accounts. Oh, they avoid. You're avoiding checking your bank accounts. You're avoiding reviewing your credit. There's no budgeting, and there's no avoiding opening bills. I'll be transparent and say that I've been at this point in life, and I think in partnership, you have to, because money is like the top reason people break up. And I could totally see why, because everyone doesn't, some people, that thing where people spend money that they ain't got, or the money hasn't gotten there, that's a bad money habit. So that's like poor management of money. And so I think making sure you talk with your partner and the people who are around and how they spend their money, that affects you too. So definitely don't avoid checking that account, because digital banking is fairly new. I can remember my mom, that question you asked about how you learned about banking. My mom worked at Bank of America, and I remember my mom showing me how to balance a checkbook. And I also remember when the ATM started doing the balance for you, and all that's convenient, the bank will take your money if you're not paying attention. Yeah. So you definitely need to know that balance of like in and out, in and out. And it's crazy when you get the money, they put that at the bottom. And they got all those deductions at the top. It's like, no, show me where the money went in so I can go down and see where it came out. So you really have to watch. Even if the bank is doing it, the bank will definitely take your, you don't have no money, they still taking your money. So you better check it when you do got it. When it hits, you better check and make sure. Yeah. And then there's overspending. And so for some people who grew up with deprivation, spending can become a way to reclaim something emotionally. And it may look like impulsive purchases. So that's like retail therapy. And then you just end up with stuff. Stuff.
Amazon.
And when it's this thing about stuff, because I grew up with old parents, and then my grandparents passed away, and then like that stuff becomes a burden on other people who have to go through your stuff, which was once money that you spent on stuff that you never even used. So just think about that when you go do retail therapy. And then using money to regulate emotions, and I deserve this because I went without it for so long. So those are ways that people overspend, and it's not about irresponsibility, it's about unmet emotional needs from earlier life experiences. And I think today I can share for myself. I'm frugal, so I like quality, but I want it for the low. I want it to be good. I'm gonna catch it on sale. Yep, but just don't buy it because it's on sale, right? That's different. So, yeah, I'm just thinking about Safeway. Because Safeway will have these sales, and then it was like there's like the ad sales, and then they'll have like something else that's not in the ad. So I'm just giving an example. This is another thing about your money. So when you go to check out, pay attention to how it rings up because sometimes it's not right. So the point of this story was they had shrimp on sale, and then it was like, oh, this shrimp is on sale, and they were going through the ads paper, and I was like, no, this is a different shrimp. I picked it up because it was on sale, because the one you had on sale wasn't there anymore, and I was like, it's okay, I'll go back there and take care of it myself and show you the picture, because it was on sale. So those are just ways in which that you could be giving your money away. That's technically giving your money away if you picked it up because it's on sale, and then they're like, no, it's $25, it's $15. That's a $10 difference. That's how much money you're just giving away. Another time, grocery outlet charged me twice for something, and I was like, you charged me twice for this. I went back. It was like $4, but it's my $4. I'm not paying for your lights and PG&E. $4 is another item of food I could got that you're keeping in your pocket, right? So go over your receipts, right? Because you'll catch discrepancies, and that's $15 I just told you a story about. $15 will get you to work and back. That's 2 times across the bridge. So if you just kind of shift the way in which you look at money, it's like, oh, it's no big deal, but every cent counts. Because also, another example is when is when you go to work. I had this job where they want you to get there 5 minutes early. And so it was like, okay, well, are you gonna compensate me for five minutes for 25 minutes a week? Because 25 minutes a week is an hour a month that you're getting off on. So you really gotta shift in how you look at your money and time and all those things. It really matters because people will try and play you with your money. But anyways, it's up to you. So there's some questions on here and just patterns. See, this is all, I didn't even read this. So really it's all connected. In scarcity mindset, that's one way that we can, like, are these traits that you might have, or avoidance of finances? You're not really trying to check. I know what it's like. You don't want to check that bank account because you're like, oh man, did they charge this? Or you check it and you're like, what is this charge? It was a subscription that you thought you canceled. Yeah. You know, you have to write that you want to cancel the subscription. Sure. Writing, remember that. Mm-hmm. Or auto pay. God forbid you put it on auto pay and want to take it off. That's a whole thing too. So just know these things. You got to put it in writing. But when you emotionally spend, hyper independence with money, and feeling shame about finances, there's no judgment, and you got to be aware. Marquetta, the story about the check cashing. The other element is that check cashing places are strategically placed, right? They're only in certain neighborhoods, and I have never gone into a check cashing place because they're exploiting people, right? So it really is about learning how to manage your money and having those conversations. There's these group of people I know. I was in a debutante. They get together and they have budget meetings. So when the shame or stuff like that, I wanted to ask, like, can I come? Because sometimes you need a group of friends who they talk about budget, because people don't want to talk about their money, and there is shame in it because it's a reflection of your habits. And sometimes it's hard to look in a mirror and just be honest with yourself about what you got going on. So that is just what I want to say about it and what I was thinking. And some of those things that the quotes where it was like, we don't have the money for this. I think as a parent, these things are important, and I teach my kids to give them allowance, and they do chores, and they earn money for that. It's like, oh, you didn't do your chores, we deducted off what you didn't do. You didn't earn that money, and that's how it is in adulthood as well. So, and then when they get it and they put it in their wallet, I'm teaching them, you put that money in, and then when you take it out, and I taught them to take it out part, because what if I want to borrow their money? I'm not doing that. But what if they want to, they leave the wallet out, the other brother takes the money, and then you like, wait a minute, I had more money than this. Well, if you didn't track it, how you know? So it's really teaching them those habits so that they can be prepared, because you can't just depend on that digital system, because, the bank will take your money.
No, I love this. We only got a few minutes. We kind of went over time, but just some myths about money. The more money I have, the happier I'll be. That's what we see. That's not true. And our celebrities who they have plenty of wealth and they are not happy. I don't need to save for retirement now. Yeah, you do. Even if you 15, start saving, right? Because a lot of people get to retirement, and that's the population I work with. They are now elderly or disabled, and now they don't have a home, right? Because they didn't prepare for retirement. And so credit cards bring debt, so I don't need to get one. We are in this system that uses a credit system. We have to use credit cards to build our credit. And even that is interesting because I build my credit all the time. And I go, well, can I get? And so there is barriers to, I'll say, the African-American community of getting funding. But that's a whole nother conversation. You guys got to come to our cultural awareness seminars. If I have enough money, I don't need to budget and save. I got enough. No, you always need to budget because Dana gave a great example. What if somebody taken from your pocket? And then you like, I know I had $20. Why is it only $5.50 in my wallet? Right? You always got to know what you got. I check my bank account, no lie, every morning, every afternoon, and probably in midday. I'm like, wait, how much did I spend on them chips? Right? I do. I check it in the morning when I wake up just because I pay stuff and I want to make sure. Sometimes they don't even take it out for 3 days. And you like, oh, I got an extra 300. No, you don't. They didn't take that bill out yet, right? And then all my problems will be solved with more money. No, it won't. If you don't have the mentality, a wealth mentality, money is only a tool. Your mindset has to be different, right? I needed 3 months of income for emergency surgery. I need at least 3 months. No, the truth is you actually need 6 months. Anyway, I need to be rich to travel. No, you don't. They actually have travel groups that you can pay for once a month, right? $100 or $150. I think my trip, I went to Jamaica. Never thought I would be able to do it, but we were paying monthly. We went on cruises. You could pay monthly. Like, you don't have to have the money right away to travel. You could travel, and there's actually groups, and people have discounts and agents that'll give you plug different places. So that's not true. It's normal to have much debt. That's not a normal thing. Some of the wealthy don't have any debt because all of their money is in their business. So it looks like they have nothing, but everything is in their business. Okay. Anyway, that's a whole nother conversation. Next slide. And I should avoid talking about money problems with others. Ray brought up something that he was taught never to talk about money. It was a shame because he didn't have, am I exposing your business? Okay. I'm sorry. Confidentiality. He didn't have what the other kids, he seen other kids with the shoes and the Nikes, and then his parents didn't have it. So he was like, let's not talk about it. So it silenced him talking about money when actually you should always be talking about wealthy people. That's what they talk about. If you get around real wealthy people, they are talking about, okay, let's invent this. Let's figure out this. I get to sit with, CTC has some millionaires in there, and I just watch them. I don't say much. Do I say a lot? No. I just watch them because how they move is all about money. It literally is all about money. Higher salary equals wealth. Nope. I tried it. I got 2 degrees, right? Actually was in more debt from the degrees. But anyway, yeah. I can't improve my finances unless I work with a professional. Nope, I did my credit stuff with my sister-in-law, and then she taught me how to write the credit bureaus and get stuff removed from my credit. And now we got Chat GBT. They might even create the letter for you and send it to Travis Credit Union, right? They'll go, oh, ma'am, I got this for you. I love Chat. And then the last one, I need to work until I'm 65 in order to retire. That's not true. And that was the back in the okay, I'm sorry, Pastor, I don't mean to age you, but back in the that was back in the day. We can actually retire earlier if we're smart with our money. Okay. All right. Well, that's our psychology of money. Is there any questions? That was good. Okay. Any questions? Okay, y'all won't? Okay, now everybody stand up. We're going to do the hokey pokey because y'all was almost asleep. You put your right in, you put your right foot out, you put your right foot in, and you take it all about. We do the hokey pokey and we turn ourselves about. That's what it's all about. Hokey pokey. Yeah, okay. All right. Next we have coming to the mic, none other than my brother from another mother, Mr. James Nicholas Jr. Go get some water as he prepares, set up. If you got a break, you got about, how long they got, 2 minutes? 2 minutes, okay, 2 minutes. Coffee, donut.
Get some coffee, get some tea. And then come back. I'm gonna have.
See, I feel better that my clicker works. You ever see Okay. Oh, and that one is unopened. I forgot we had that. Yes. Now that I don't know. Marquetta knows.
Thank you.
I can find out for you. Let me find out.
That's what they told me. I guess it must be. Oh yeah, I went through it. Click it again. I just made sure it all went through. Yeah. Reset it. No. There you go. Cool.
All right. Y'all ready? Y'all ready? Here we go. Mr. James Nicholas is about to present CTC, meaning change the conversation. He's going to give us some financial insight. And I just want you to listen a little bit, okay? All right. Come on to the mic.
Hello, 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 hello. We still got people in the lobby. Come on back. Oh, eating some quiche. I didn't get any quiche. Well, first I want to thank Pastor and the First Lady for even having us here, because you didn't have to open your doors to have us here. Thank you, M&M Project, for bringing us down. Today we're going to be talking about something that literally changed my life. My background is actually in healthcare, and I was a singer-songwriter for a while. So I was a surgical tech for the VA for about 10 years, and then I left because they weren't paying me nearly enough money to be there. I'm just being honest, right? Went to UCSF, so I was crossing the bridge, 2 bridges every day to get to work. Sitting in traffic, doing a lot of stuff I didn't feel like doing. And something happened in me and my wife's life that made me become an entrepreneur. So I haven't had a job in about 8 years at this point. Because I said, life is too short to clock in and clock out forever for these people, okay? So you're gonna learn something that is the reason why we're just here today, okay? So my organization is called CTC, stands for Change the Conversation. We are in the business of breaking generational curses. Part of CTC alone, we have about 300 people in over 30 states. I'm a senior vice president. Okay, thank you. I think that's pretty cool. The way I even got into this was my wife's best friend texted her and said, hey, I have something you should come look at. And then she brought it to me, and I said, what they trying to sell us? Typical male answer, right? Why? What they, right? And the Bible says, he who finds a wife finds a good thing. Because she dragged me to a meeting. Women see things that men can't see sometimes, right? So she dragged me to the meeting, and that's why I'm standing here in front of you. And she reminds me all the time, right? So in this, you see mothers, you see fathers, you see nurses, you see business owners, and we are kingdom-minded here. We are submitted under God when it comes to what we do, okay? So I start every presentation with my reason why. This is my mom. Okay, if you can't tell, she was a ball of sunshine, okay? And so this right here, that's me. I got 2 brothers, but I was the cute baby, okay? And they're not here to argue, okay? So that was me, okay? And if you can't tell, my mom was the perfect example of I am going to try something, and if it doesn't work, I'll try something else, right? She was very much faith over fear all the time, okay? And I remember when she started a trucking company. I remember when she was working at our local library. I remember when she worked at the front desk of my middle school, and when I get in trouble, she'd be right there waiting for me, okay? So I'm a PK, by the way, and we like to say that we got our wisdom from our dad, we got our spirit from our mom, right? So I start every presentation with my mom because she is literally the reason that I am here. So I hope I'm making her proud down here. So here, we are God first and foremost. No, we don't beat people over the head with it, but we're not scared to say who we represent when we walk into a building, okay? 2 of our flagship verses for CTC. Proverbs 13:22 is a good man leaves an inheritance for his children's children. So anytime somebody says, they can figure it out when I'm dead. We all know somebody like that. That's not biblical, right? In Exodus 33:15, Lord, do not lead us up from here without your presence. This is not about cars and clothes and look at the money. You can't take none of this with you, okay? Money is just a tool. And the way that I see money is that it just gives me the time I want with the people I love. That's it, because I can't take it with me, right? So we put God in the center of it, and if His will, He'll bless it. If it's not, He'll course correct you, okay? Now, that's actually me and Abby. That's my wife. Abby, do this. Okay, that's my wife. That's it, right? That's actually us in Lynn's And where was this, babe? What's the second picture? Vienna, in Austria. We went to Europe, paid for by this company. Okay, my old company used to send me Starbucks gift cards. They didn't send me to Europe. Okay, and that's actually my brother. I call him my little big brother because he's taller than me. He got a full beard, right? He has 15 ATMs in the Bay Area. He got married last year. He still has his 9 to 5, right? And he does this part-time with me. That was his first check, about $1,800. He made that in about 3 hours, right? So it's really cool to be able to build something with my family. So disclaimer, anything we talk about here today, feel free to do your own research. But honestly, go with your gut. God moves through your gut. Devil moves through your head, right? Because you talk yourself out of your own blessings, right? God will show you the door. He ain't going to open it for you, okay? So I've had many times in my life where I didn't go with my gut, and I was like, man, I should have did it. I should have done that. I got the green light. I didn't even do it, okay? So today's objectives: sharing information that'll benefit people you know, love, and care about, and explain how by sharing it and teaching it to others, it could be financially rewarding for you and your family, right? The way that I even met Marquetta, so I live on Mare Island, and one of the people that we work with also lives on Mare Island, and she invited Marquetta over to just hear the information. And Marquetta, I think we can all agree, she's a very, very smart woman. She's got a lot of stuff going, right? And she said, I didn't know none of this stuff, right? And that's actually how we linked up. She didn't join because she's like, I can make money. That's not how she joined. She was like, people should really be educated on this, right? And you have a heart for people. So there you go. So I'm going to ask you the same question that was asked to me that changed my life. What is your family's most valuable asset? And this is interactive. Anybody, yell it out. House. Anybody? Tangible. That's a fact. I should just leave now. That's right. Life insurance is 100%. But I'll raise you this: your ability to earn an income. Because if you cannot work, what happens to your house? What happens to your kids? What happens to your car? Right? 78% of Americans live paycheck to paycheck. Now, I'm not saying that that's anybody in here, but we have all felt taxes. Right? Last year was an election year. Look at your 401k. Right? I just did a presentation at Mechanics Bank. They brought little old me to come in and educate. Right? And somebody walked up to me and said, hey, I'm working for PG&E. I just lost 60 grand in my 401k last year. And if you guys haven't checked the news, we just went to war. Go check your 401k again. You think you lost money last year. Because the market goes like this. Okay? So let's talk about your ability to earn income. Sickness. 55% of all deaths in the USA are caused by heart attack, stroke, or cancer. Hands up for anyone who knows someone that has happened to. Okay? And if your hand didn't go up, I'll tell you the same thing my grandma used to tell me: keep on living. It'll happen eventually. Right? 50% suffer this before they're 65. And 85% don't even die. But what happens to your bank account? 66% of all bankruptcies are due to medical expenses, right? And long-term disability. And 70% of those actually had health insurance. Does your health insurance pay for your mortgage? What about your car note? What about your groceries? This is a huge blind spot that people don't understand. You can have a great career and still go broke because your lifestyle is not being paid for. Okay? SSI, only 29% of people are actually going to get SSI. And by the way, it's not my generation. Okay? So for those of you who are going to get SSI, congratulations, hallelujah. That's right. But is SSI going to cover everything? Not even close. Right? Death from catastrophes or accidents. So when I think of this, has anybody in here been having a normal day? You're going through, you're looking forward to the Warriors game, whatever it is, and you get a phone call, and all of a sudden, it's not a normal day no more. Someone died. Someone got sick. Someone got hit by a car. And then everything you thought was so important gets dropped because real life showed up at your house. right? When this happens, only 51% of people actually have life insurance. That's a fact. Unemployment. I mean, when I think of unemployment, you can work for somewhere for 10 to 15 years. They can walk in and say, hey, we sold the company. Or, hey, we're bringing in new management. And what does new management always do? Bring in their people, right? And too many times in our communities, we bet the farm on that corporation that don't care nothing about you. You act like they care. They don't. I don't care how many potlucks y'all have. We a family. What you bring? They'll let you go tomorrow with an email, not even a thank you card, an email. Okay, so here we teach ownership. So, everybody, why do we buy car insurance? Simple, in case we get in an accident, right? Why do we buy health insurance? Also, this is not brain surgery. It's just in case we get sick. Right, there you go. Why do we usually buy life insurance? Anybody? Yell it out. In case we die. See, y'all smart. That's right. Just in case we die. But here's the question that changed my life. What if you don't die? What if you live? Most of us in this room have never been asked that question. We have all been asked, what if you die? What if you die? What if you die? I had never been, and I worked in hospitals. I'd never been asked, what if I live? And if you do live, how do you pay for the car note and the mortgage and the kids going to college and groceries? Eggs are like $30,000. Right? Right? I mean, yesterday, we have a diesel Jeep. And so I'm sitting there at the gas pump, and usually it's about what? What, babe? Usually. Okay. So we're filling up the tank, and it gets to 50, then 60, then 80, then 100. I looked at her, what is going on? Am I being punked? It got to like 130. And I was like, did gas go up? She was like, yeah, it's like $7. Right? So, you can see me walking. Longboard. Ain't that James? Yeah, man. It's hard out here. Right? I'm just being honest. Right? So, let's talk about who gets the money. If you get sick today, your health insurance will pay who? The doctors and the nurses and the people who keep you alive. If you die today, your death insurance, and by the way, that's usually what I run into. People usually have life insurance, but it's a death plan. They don't have the living benefit side of it. But if you die and you have death insurance, your wife, your kids, whoever's left behind gets paid for. But what happens if you have a heart attack, but you didn't die? You have a stroke, but you didn't die. You got hit by a car. You're not dead. This is where this gap comes in. Does anybody know what this gap is? And nobody from my team. Lonnie, Ashley, Christine, Abby. Yes, that's a solid one. But you know what our community usually does? GoFundMe. Hands up, who's seen a GoFundMe? Everybody in this room. We have turned GoFundMe into a financial strategy, which is crazy, right? And I'm not holier than thou. We made a GoFundMe to bury my mom. She had a brain aneurysm, okay? So I want you to understand how you even get to GoFundMe. You don't go straight to the internet. First, you go to your checking account. See what's in there. Then you go to your savings account. Then you go to your 401k, and then your mutual funds and all Roth and all this stuff. Then you call your mom or your dad or your uncle or your sisters or your brothers. And then eventually they say, hey, Marquetta, we love you, but we can't give you no more money because I'm going to end up on the street dealing with your medical bills. Then you go to strangers on the internet and say, I know y'all don't know me, but here's my story. And here's the cool thing. They'll get together and they'll give you money for about 1 month. This is not a recurring bill. You are not Netflix. It's like they are not doing that. They're gonna bless you one time And after that, you are on your own. Okay? So, what we do here is very, very simple. And this is why I love what I do. We bridge the gap between health insurance and death insurance. It's called living benefits. And we are going to educate on it right now. It was introduced in the United States in 2007. Most companies did not pick it up. Most of the companies you know didn't pick it up. The reason why they didn't pick it up is because they know you're not educated anyway. It doesn't hurt their bottom line, right? So it's insurance where you are the primary beneficiary. All that means is you get the money while you are still alive. So it changes the concept of what people think life insurance is. Because you know what? Usually when someone says life insurance, you know what happens? A wall goes up. You know what you say? Oh, you know, we already got that. Oh, you know, we already said, you know, through the job and did it. Without even hearing what you're about to say to them, right? And in our communities, let's be honest, some people you say that to, why, you trying to kill me? Got a sniper on the roof, what's happening? Right? Which is not biblical. Good Lord. Right? So this is life insurance you don't have to die to use. Who do you know that would want to learn about life insurance that they don't have to be 6 feet under to use? Everybody. That's why we're here. We do not sell here, we educate. Okay? So, what makes us different? Who in here has heard of Aflac? I even said it with the Aflac. I can't help it. We've all seen the commercials. So, Aflac is great, by the way. I'm not about to tear down, Aflac is, no. Aflac is great for short-term disability. Right? You're coming back in a month or 2, 3 months. You're kind of milking it, but it's okay. Right? God knows your heart. Right? They're terrible when a big thing shows up, and I'll tell you why. You have to buy a heart attack plan and a stroke plan and a cancer plan. They're all separate. Most people don't know that, right? And some people buy all of them. Some people are like, in this economy, please. I'm not buying all 3. So what happens if you had a heart attack and you bought the stroke plan? They'll look at you straight in the face. Oh, you know you should have bought them. Crazy. That's like buying car insurance for the left side of your car. That's crazy, right? With us, it's a full umbrella. Heart attack, stroke, cancer, something just takes you out the game. They will cut you that check right then and there. Also, Aflac doesn't cut huge checks. They don't. And by the way, the reason I know this is one of my mentors was a big dog in Aflac. I'm talking about from here all the way to LA. He was over it all. And he left because his dad got cancer. Now, his dad was covered because, again, he's like, I got my dad everything. They only cut him a check for maybe $50,000, $60,000, which is something. But cancer, you might as well hop on a cruise and wait till you die. Okay? So, with us, doctor walks in and says, I got good news and bad news. Good news is you're not dying. Bad news is you can't go back to work. And then what do we always ask the doctor? Well, when can I go back to work? And then he starts tap dancing. Because I don't really know, how your body's going to react to the medication. And he's not lying to you, right? He does not know when you'll be able to walk back in. But do your bills stop? No. Do your kids stop being hungry? No. That's when you see GoFundMe pop up. With us, doctor walks in and says, good news, bad news. Good news, you're not dying, right? Bad news, you can't go back to work. We'll cut you a check right there. So you get terminal, critical, and chronic. No additional costs. Every single thing that we have is baked in. Okay, I don't have to sell you more riders and say, oh, well, it was going to be this, but now it's $100 more because we got to add on the rest of it. We don't do that here. Okay? These are just some of our powerful alliances. You got F&G, Laker Colors, established in 1958, $65 billion company. Okay? American National, 1905, National Life Group, 1848. Phoenix, this one right here, 1851, paid the death note of Abraham Lincoln when he died. Insurance companies have more money than most banks do. Guess who was never taught that? Our community. Okay? So, this is Mike. Mike is a perfect example of a know-it-all. Hands up, who knows a know-it-all? I know a couple. Blink twice if they sit next to you. It's usually the wise, like, right? So Mike, successful lawyer, has his own farm, and I'm talking about American dream, right? He pulled it off. He has traditional life insurance. All that means is he has to die to use his plan, okay? So he has $1 million plan. He learns about living benefits and says, I think I'm okay. You know, I think it's not going to happen to me. Famous last words of every GoFundMe you've ever seen, right? He has a major heart attack, triple bypass surgery. At 44, he was young, okay? And by the grace of God, I'm not here to tell you, Mike died, he got what he deserved. He didn't die, but he ran through all his money. Imagine starting over financially at 50. I'm talking about 401k wiped, everything gone, okay? So Mike is a perfect example of you can lead a horse to water, everybody knows the rest, okay? This is Kip and Danny. By the way, they look like a Kip and Danny, okay? If you ever saw Kip and Danny, they probably look exactly like this, okay? Now, Kip and Danny got married when they were 26 years old, and his mother came to his wedding and said, hey, I want to gift you a living benefits plan. And Kip is a correctional officer. He has a great job. So Kip, typical male answer, oh, come on, Mom, I don't need that. They probably got it at my job, right? I'm sure that's what I sounded like. I'm a reformed skeptic. Pray for me. Okay? So fast forward. His mom got the plan, by the way, because women know, right? And my father used to say this all the time to me, right? And that's my dad right there. Love you, Dad. Right? He said when men get together, they talk about entertainment. When women get together, they talk about life. So women know it can happen, right? So she got it for him. At 29, Kip gets stage 3 lymphoma cancer. Because 29, cancer doesn't care if you're 29 years old. You can be 5 years old and be battling cancer, okay? So he files a claim against his living benefits. How much money do you think Kip got? Anybody? Not the people who know. Love you. Anybody want to guess? 100,000 from Gabrielle coming in strong. It's like Price is Right. Oh, $1 million is, you are an optimist. That ain't bad. That's not a bad guess. 500,000 coming in from Demetrius, strong. $950,000 wired to his bank account. This money is not a loan. He does not have to pay this back. They are giving him a portion of the money he would have received at his death. They are giving him that money now. Yeah, that's when people were like, oh, okay. I thought it was going to be like $10,000 or something. This money saved his life. Because I don't know if you guys know how America works. When they got the check, they told a couple people. They didn't tell everybody, but they told the people, the doctors, hey, we have money now. The doctor walks, hey, look, so you might want to check in somewhere else. Because you should go into a specialty clinic. They didn't tell him about the specialty clinic before. Why? He didn't have the money. They'll let you die in that hospital. You know people this happened to. When he checks into the specialty clinic, $25,000 a month. He was cancer-free in 9 months. And keep in mind, he still had the rest of the money left over. So he still had about $700,000 that he rolled into an annuity. By the time he's probably 50, they'll probably have like $5 or $10 million sitting there. And they both became agents with our company. Okay? We are the people that you contact when it comes to this stuff, right? Lonnie, right there. Abby, Christine's in the back, right? This is who you come to talk to about things of this nature. Side note, Kip and Danny are real. Yeah, I know how y'all think. I know they look like an AI cutout. Okay? They're real. There's me. There's Abby. We have met them. I told you I'm a reformed skeptic. Pray for me. Okay? I know how people think. Okay, yeah, sure. Right? We met them in Vegas last year. I know you do now. Okay? That's when Jesus walked on water. I didn't see him do it. When? When he do it? Well, you wasn't out there. Okay. Okay. We have fun here. Okay? So, real couple, they actually live in LA. Both became agents with this company. Okay? Because if I got something like this, I'd be telling people, at least the people I love. Hey, oh yeah, I heard it. No, you don't have this. Because none of the stuff he had at his job and none of the stuff that he had through the other companies paid him because he wasn't terminally ill. Right? He was just critical. So, what we do here is very simple. We help families upgrade their outdated life insurance policies from death-only coverage to a coverage with living benefits at no additional cost. Most people you know have no, well, actually not most people. Let's just say some people have no insurance at all, which is crazy because they think nothing's going to happen to them. Other people have insurance, but it's a death plan. And if they're not dying, it doesn't pay out. So all we do is flip it out. Who do you know that if they got sick, want to check for a couple $100,000 to pay their bills? Everybody. So that's half of what we do, living benefits. The other half is we teach people a safer alternative to a 401k or an IRA. Now, this is how this works. If this was your money, I know it's small, but bear with me. Would you rather be the red line or the blue line if this was your money? Blue line, right? That red line is a 401k or a 403b or a 457, usually whatever they gave us at the job. Problem, up and down with the market. Who remembers 2008? Right? 2021 is right there, that other dip. I mean, last year, election year, I'm sure it went like this, and we just went to war. I promise you, your money's doing this. So the problem with the 401k is this. Usually the reason why we have these vehicles is because, well, mama said, my uncle told me. Ask him if he read the contract. No one reads the contracts. Who in here wholeheartedly trusts the government? Oh, no hands, huh? Who do you think your job got the 401k from? To give to you. Let's connect. You don't make those connections. So this is the market risk, up and down. If you had a best friend and they came to you and said, I'm going to save your money for you, and I'm going to match some of the money, because I'm going to match you. But, so Marquetta, I might lose all your money. How much money would you give your friend? You give her $5 for old time's sake. Girl, I remember when you lent me your bike that one time in middle school. Because she just told you she could lose all your money. That's what a 401k is, right? So you have market risk. You have fees. There are tons of fees in a 401k plan. Not to mention time, right? You got to make all that money back if they lose it. So taxes. Let's talk about taxes. Taxes are fun. Taxes on let's just say you have $60,000. First you have to pay Uncle Sam. Then you have to pay the governor, who usually looks like this. It's usually some variation of this guy. FICA, 8%, federal, 14%, state, another 4%. You will take home $44,000, but you just paid $16,000 in taxes. Who in here knows somebody that had to cash out early? And they're like, thought I was going. I see your hand go. I see your hand go. It's a good thing, because that's when you learn, where's the rest of my money? Oh, well, and they don't tell you that when you sign up for one. Okay? So the reason why we bring that up, this $427,000 in the red line has not been taxed yet. Not to mention there's a 10% penalty if you're under 59 and a half. You can imagine $400,000 taxes? 50 to 80,000 maybe, right? That's not precise, but I'm not far off. This blue line, permanent life insurance. Who was taught that you can save money in a permanent life insurance plan when they were little? I wasn't, right? No downside market risk at all. Here, I'm a defensive financial strategist. I am not here to make you $1 million. Call your crypto friend. There you go, call her. Right? That's an offensive financial strategy. You can make a lot of money, but you can also lose it. Right? And there's nothing wrong with offensive financial strategies. The problem is we were only taught offensive financial strategies. You can make it, lose it, make it, lose it, make it, lose it. This is defense. Okay? Who in here understands how basketball works? Everybody? Can you win a game with no defense? This is why our community looks this way. All we are taught is try to get rich, get the money, get the money. We have no defense in place. I am your defensive financial guy. I am here to make sure whatever you have is safe and whatever you are building is safe. I'm not here to make you $1 million. Okay? So, this is from the Wall Street Journal. I know it's small, but I'm going to read it for you guys. This was written in 2010. The wealth effect. The richest Americans own over half of the tax-free investment gains built up in life insurance. The richest Americans, aka the people we work for. Families in the bottom half only own 6.5%. I want you guys to understand how small 6.5 is. Let's all go back to high school. Okay? We're sitting in class, and there's a 100-point test. I got a 50%. What's my letter grade? F. We're at 6.5. You didn't even show up to class. Teacher walking, who are you? I'll go here. No, you don't. You haven't been here all year. That's where our community is at. We are not even part of the chart because we don't learn these things. We're taught 401k, Roth at best, and maybe a high yield account. We never get here, and when someone brings up life insurance, wall. I already know what you're going to tell me. I already got through my job. I paid $5 for it. Who's heard that? It's not weird that your car insurance is $140 and your life insurance is $5? Come on. And I used to say that. I'm not holier than thou. I used to be that guy. Right? But it's ignorance on steroids. Okay? So, we also help people with retirement income. I am the guy that someone hands their 401k to and says, hey, I don't want to lose any money in retirement. Because if you're retired, how much money can you afford to lose? 0. Right? And we always ask people, what happens if the market crashes 10 years before you retire? Can you not retire? No. Ask anybody from 2008. Right? Now, what happens if the market crashes during your retirement? People don't realize you can still lose money in retirement. You know what your future looks like? Welcome to Walmart. How many greeters do you think want to be greeted? Now, don't get me wrong. Every now you run into a guy, he's just bored. He likes being there. He's like, I just got something to do every day. That's fine. But there are a lot of people working those jobs that didn't want to. They ran out of money. We help people with annuities so that you don't run out of money during retirement. And some annuities come with, they actually come with bonuses on top. When I rolled over, how much we rolled for your mom? Like $180,000 for her, right? And she got $20,000 on top of it. But most importantly, she didn't have to worry about her money disappearing. Okay? So, today's objectives: sharing information that will benefit people you know, love, and care about. Who do you know that if they got sick would want to check for a couple $100,000 to pay their bills? Everybody. Who do you know that would want to keep their money on the blue line away from the government? Because it's tax-free, by the way. Everybody. Who do you know that wouldn't want to run out of money in retirement? Everybody. So guess who CTC talks to? Everybody. That's what we do here. Now, when it comes to what we do on the other side, because we're talking about money here, right? Sometimes I run into people, and this stuff is all great, but a plan is only as good as the person that can pay for it. And sometimes when I run into people, I tell them to their face, you have a cash flow problem. You don't make enough money. You'll never make enough money on the current trajectory that you are at. That's the facts. You can work for McDonald's forever and never retire, right? So we also help people make extra money when it comes to being a referral person. And this is what I ask anybody I talk to. I don't care if you're a doctor or you work for Bart. Can you give yourself a raise at your job? No. You can ask for one. Your boss will say, first they'll laugh because they see if you're serious. You say, I'm serious. They say, okay, put it in an email. Who's heard that? We're going to see your evaluation is coming up. They start tap dancing. Start tap dancing, right? See if they want to give you $1, right? And we have been taught to work for the hour, not for the value. The people that we work for, they get paid by value, not for time. That's the biggest lie we were sold. Here, we teach people how to get paid for value, not time. Okay, and this is how this works, and I'm going through this very simply. If someone comes here, they are on a commission. I'm not telling you to quit your job. Some people love their careers. That's okay. But you need to have something that you own. That's the difference, because ownership means legacy. Okay? So someone comes here, they got $100, 30% commission. They will make $360 in an hour and a half. You give yourself a raise, so you're at a 55% commission. You'll make $660 in an hour and a half. Same $100, right? Someone brings me same $100 and I'm at a 70% commission. By the way, I'm at a 73 because I'm a senior vice president. I will make probably $900 in an hour and a half. Someone brings me $200, I'll make $1,600 in an hour and a half. I was never taught that I could make money like this. I was always taught to ask, what do I get paid by the hour? This is not guaranteed. I am not here to tell you you're going to be millionaires next week. I don't know you. We all got a friend that started a lot of stuff and didn't follow through, right? I don't know your work ethic. And if you're here just to make money, guess what? You're not going to join me, because we are here for people who have real testimonies on what they went through. This is not the finance class, financial bros, let's make money and get yachts. It's not about that. This is about people first, okay? Now, if you're helping somebody with an annuity, bigger money, $20,000 one sale, $30,000 one sale. Again, a lot of people just do this referrals, right? You might be looking up here and be like, okay, yeah, James, of course you're doing this. But you might, I'm not about to present. I want to do all that. That's okay. Send them to us. We will do this portion for you. You will still get paid. And most importantly, you actually help somebody. Because if you don't tell them, you're going to see their GoFundMe pop up. And then you go, oh, I should have told them. I should have, but somebody else will tell them. It's about spreading information, okay? I say it can happen for you because it happened for us. Again, that's us in Europe. Again, I'm a little black boy from Vallejo. I wasn't born silver spoon kid and businesses and houses. I didn't know any of this stuff till 3 years ago. Literally. Our first check, about 10 grand. Made that in 6 hours. We call him Uncle Joel. He lives in Fairfield. He owns the Burger I Am in American Canyon. This man makes $200,000 a month. Immigrant from the Philippines. Know the difference? He had faith enough to start and patience enough to see the fruit grow. That's all it was. He does not have a master's degree. Nothing wrong with a master's degree. He didn't go to college. He just saw something that everybody needed and said, oh, I'll try it. Most of us don't try, right? We all have that Peter moment where God calls you out and you say, oh, well, I see so many people walk back from the water. I can't do it. I said, just try. No, I don't want to do it. Okay. Let's stay on that trajectory. Okay? Proverbs 132, inexperienced people die because they reject wisdom. Stupid people are destroyed by their own lack of concern. AKA, I'll find a better job later. I'll get life insurance later, but first I'm going to go to Disneyland. We know people like that. Spend $3,000 on a birthday party. No life insurance. Now, I want to be very clear about this. This is not a proverb about life insurance. I want to be very clear about this, right? But good stewardship goes hand in hand with this. Does that make sense to everybody here? Okay. So, the decisions you make today will either bless your bloodline or burden it. These are famous words that I have actually heard from people. One, let me think about it. Heard that over and over and over again, then I see their GoFundMe pop up. Okay? Two, it's just not the right time. You ever invite somebody to church? Oh, first I got to get right. No. Come as you are. Right? Three, give me until next month. I've seen this one so many times. And then, oh man, I got in this bad car accident. Hey, I need that insurance. Too late. And my personal favorite, thank you, but I think we're set. They ain't even look at what they had. They ain't look. Oh, but I think we're good, right? The problem is life doesn't wait for the right time. So many of us in our communities, we're reactive, not proactive. That's the problem. We are here to be proactive, and then this is how you build something. Okay? Now, you cannot pray for harvest if you didn't plant the seeds. Faith without works. Got a lot of people shouting, hey, okay, yeah, did you do it? No, but I'm thinking about it. Right? If you want to set up something, there's a table right there. You have Lonnie. Lonnie, raise your hand. That's Lonnie. There's Abby. That's my wife. Christine, back there. Raise your hand, Christine. There you go. Set up an appointment. And we might tell you, you're fine. You're actually good. You have all the things we talked about, but don't leave it to chance. Set the appointment. Get a conversation going, right? And if you do have a hole, we can plug the hole. If you don't, then we'll say, you're fine, you're actually good. And if you want to refer someone to us, this is the person that you can come to. Make sense, everybody? Okay. Any questions while I'm up here? Any questions about the living? Commission? Under commission rates? Let me go back. Up. There you go. That's correct. Well, not if you purchase, but whoever, like say you refer somebody and they come here and say, hey, I want to do a $300 a month policy. I want to do a $500 a month policy, right? I want to do a $1,000 a month policy. That's what it's based off of. Yeah, so everything is a la carte. Everybody's insurance is different. From, you might have somebody who's 18 years old, no kids, no cares in the world. They're just trying to kind of save money. Then I might talk to somebody who's 55 that lives in Maryland and says, look, I have a mortgage, I have 3 kids, I have this, I have that, right? And then you decide from there how much insurance you think you need, right? And we actually have a process that works through that for you. And then we say, this is how much you actually need. And then we work backwards. And you might say, that's good, I'm good with that. Or you might say, I want more. Or you might say, hey, I can't afford that right now. And I'll say, okay, let's work backwards because something's better than nothing. Anytime you see a GoFundMe, they had nothing. Okay? Did I answer your question? Okay, great. Any other questions while I'm up here? No? Oh, go ahead. This is an IUL. So we have IULs and we also have term plans, right? We actually have both because there's only 2 types of insurance. There's term and perm. Usually our community only has term, right? And then we all know somebody where it's about to jump and then we're like, I can't keep paying for this. And then you don't have anything to leave the family, right? So we have both sides. And all IULs, by the way, don't come with living benefits. It depends on the company. All ours do, and our company does. Did that answer your question? Okay, great. Thank you. Education, not sales, right? Any other questions? Okay. Oh. You sure can. It's called 1035 exchange. Yeah. See, I know my stuff. Because I genuinely love this stuff. D. Great question. No. You can do that with an annuity. You can't roll a 401k or that type of retirement plan into a life insurance plan. The government is on to that. They're like, nah, you can't do that. Right? Can't roll it into that. You can roll it into an annuity, though. Right? And that's kind of like for the bigger stuff. Gabby? There's no dumb questions. Annuity is basically like setting up your own pension plan. That's what an annuity actually is. It's for people who they have a large lump sum of money just kind of sitting, or they're about to retire and they don't want to run out of money when they retire. Okay, we have a lot of people out there. The AT&T guy was like that. He has about, I think he had like 800,000. They wanted to roll with me. Any other questions? Great questions, by the way. Cool. Thank Thank you for having me.
Okay, you take off that tuxedo. In the summer, you might not sweat. Next time you wear a t-shirt. I'm just playing with James. That's my boy. Isn't this insightful? You know, why isn't our folks here? That's what when we do okay. Anyway, because they miss out on information. This is good information, right? So I think are we on YouTube? Yeah, we on YouTube, y'all. So we could share it and say, see, this what y'all, no, don't share it. Let them pay you guys. That, before you say, I got $10, give me $10 and I'll provide it to you, okay? All right. We appreciate you, James, CTC family. Christine. Oh, come in. Okay, come on, Christine. You know you got to tell me, my mind sometime be going. Did you put your name in the cup?
Oh, okay. I need a piece of paper. Okay. Can I have your names? Okay. Can you guys all put your names really quick? While we're waiting really quick, I just want to tell you guys who I am, and I'm part of CTC. I've been a part of James and Abby's team for about 2 years now, and I used to work retail. I was a single mom, raising my 3 boys, and I resonated with Marquetta's testimony, and I know how that check cashing thing can get you. Okay, so that's real. But CTC has changed my life. I've been able to do this full time and start a business on my own. I'm able to homeschool my son and have a entrepreneurship business. Did I think I was gonna do this 2 years ago? No. I thought I was gonna retire at Best Buy where I was at. It's a comfortable job, but I wanted something better. I wanted time freedom. I wanted to be with my son who's 10 and really pour into him. Not only did I find a business, I found the Lord. So I got baptized last year, and CTC has changed my life. And so we're out here in the communities just really educating, like James said, educating, not selling. So I hope you guys all learned something good. Great. And CTC, we brought a cool little gift for everyone to win. Mahogany, yeah. Pick one. Okay. Mahogany got the winner. Demetrius Berry.
Demetrius Bailey.
Yay! To Mr. Demetrius Berry, come and get your prize. Look at this. It's a financially connected game, Money Talk for Couples. Oh! Well, thank you guys.
All right. I also want to say Miss Denise has blessed us with some books. And so we're going to give away, she's an author. Eminem Project Hope is dope because we got some authors. Come on, Miss Denise. And she can tell you a little bit about her book. Please support her. Her and Chis, they have their books on Amazon. And so we want you to support her, but she wanted to be a blessing to somebody today, okay?
Hello. Again, my name is Denise Johnson, and I wrote a book called Looking into the Pain. This is it. And I wrote this book due to some pain that I was going through. And I know we've all dealt with pain, but a lot of times we don't want to, right? Or we want it to hurry up and go. So what I did, the Lord showed me how I had to sit in my pain. I had to let it roll over me. I had to deal with it. I had to face it in order to get through it. And so what this book is about is 7 different women of the Bible. There's only one who was given a name in the Bible, so I named the rest of the women. And this book talks about their story and the pain that they went through. So we get to dive into their pain, and some of their pain actually relates to our pain. And it talks about how God showed up for them in their pain. And what this book does is it talks about the silent pieces of the Bible, the part where it'll tell you who she is and what she's going through, but it doesn't tell you her thought, what she's thinking. And so I feel in those spaces with what I think or how I felt she would have been thinking or she would have been feeling at the time. So just a little bit more. So when I wrote this book, I was listening to a bunch of people, and it was like, okay, well, you need to do a book signing, and you need to do this, and you need to do that. And it was so stressful, so stressful. And then after it was all said and done, the Lord said, I didn't tell you to do that. He said, I did not tell you to write this book to sell. This book was to help a woman or someone who's close to a woman that has pain. And so I now give my books away. Okay. So I have a business card. If you want, you can take these books. I'll leave them out in the lobby. So if you want to grab one, you're welcome to grab one. If you want more, I can give you my business card. You can reach out to me via email, and I'll be happy to send you one. Okay? Thank you.
Thank you. Denise is dope. See, I told you, we have amazing people on our team. Go ahead.
Hi, so I have 2 books out. They're both available on Amazon, and unlike Miss Denise, I sell them. The first one is my memoir. It's called I Need Help. It's the story of trauma, trials, and triumphs. And it's my story of how I actually got into mental health. Growing up with family members with mental health issues and it being a stigma in our community. So the purpose of my first book was to remove the shame about talking about it, and steps and tools on how to find help within your community, whether you have insurance or not. And there's lots of great resources in here. And then my second book is a companion book. It's the workbook that goes with it. And this one came to fruition from leading our women's group through M&M, and a lot of common themes that came up with women in our group, different struggles that we all have as women, regardless of our background. So this workbook, the same thing, it's gonna challenge you, it's gonna conflict you, but it's gonna help you on your journey. So, and it's on Amazon. Both of them start with I Need Help. The red one is the memoir, the green one is the workbook. And I will give away this set. I'll give it to Miss Denise. I should have brought more books. But if you're interested, they're on Amazon. And thank you, because I always forget.
No, we got amazing people. Now we got to call up our investment crew. Where did she go? Oh, she up there. Okay. Mia, you want to come introduce your mom? Yeah, come on. No, you not? Oh, you waiting for her. Okay. Okay. So let me tell you how I know Miss April because she's a fitness guru, first and foremost. And I was trying to work on keeping it together. Let's just say that. So I knew her. But I met Mia at the ACEs awareness, and she just came up to my table last year. And she was trying to tell me, hey, let's get together about this thing. Whoop-de-whoop. And I said, okay, all right. Everybody always want me to come meet them. All right. But we kept in touch. And then I think her mom or you sent something, a text message about something. I said, and then I said, I need you guys to come to the wealth seminar to talk about it. And I actually signed up for their business. I'm going to let them tell you about it, but let me tell you, I'm a happy camper since I signed up. I've only been a part of it for like 15 days. 15 days and made some. Don't look at my pockets. I see you trying to count my money. I'm not going to tell you how much I made, okay? But I've already made some coins. And I'm very proud of what they do. They're another agency who is helping the community in different ways. So she's getting it. She's coming. No, you don't have to be sorry. Huh? No, oh, you want them to take a break for a second? Okay, y'all, it is some, was it Twix? What is it called? Not Twizzlers. Okay, I didn't buy no chocolate. So if you like Twizzlers, we got some lifesavers on the table, and there's still water and tea. They're going to give them about 5 minutes, and we're going to start, because we hungry a little bit. Okay, we going to eat. I promise you we going to eat soon, okay? But, yeah, go ahead and take a 5-minute break.
Yes, me and my mom Mildred. Is she driving it? No. Battery be going dead. Everybody's scared. You guys should hear about but I just think that, like I said, you know, like I said, like, you're gonna look at but that's okay. Yeah, it still grows. Yeah. I'm ready. I'm ready. Because I'm ad-libbing, so it ain't no scripting. Nothing scripted. Hi, guys. I am very shy. I really am.
You're okay.
I really am. I don't like that. No? And I don't like it. Oh, the orange one? I like orange, my favorite color. Okay, guys. So we're going to get started. And I just want to thank everybody. Thank Marquetta for inviting us and having us. Okay. Okay. And so my name is April, and I'm a health and wellness coach and now a financial advisor, guide, Bitcoin person, investor. Okay. So I actually started, I've been, as I was telling my group earlier, I've never worked for anybody for, I guess, 40 years. I've always been self-employed. My last job was when my son was 2, and he's 42 this year, right? I think they're 2 years apart. So any rate, always been a hustler, always had a side job, always have had money, learning from my parents of being frugal, but also somewhere in my brain it said to always have my cash. So I've always been a saver, always been frugal, still frugal. I guess that's how millionaires stay millionaires, because they don't spend all their money and on things that don't matter, right? So I've been self-employed right now. I've always had my gym. So 1999, my first gym was Body by Design, and it was over off of Sonoma Boulevard, and I did that for 11 years. For 7 years. And then I thought I was going to retire, and then I got called to the ministry in 2006, and it was to heal, prosper, and deliver God's people out of bondage. And didn't quite know what that was, went on a path of, okay, it's called Women of Substance. And so I was like, oh, I'm going to have events and seminars, and I'm going to do this, and, just had the flyers, my tithes and offerings, and everything ready. And I was on my way to the gym one morning, and the Holy Spirit said, it ain't time yet. And this was after 3 years. I'm waiting, like, okay, God, you said, come on. It's not time yet. I was like, it's not time. I said, no, it's not time yet. I said, well, then just keep me busy until it is. So after I said that, guys, please be careful what you ask for. I went into healing, laying hands on those that were sick, couldn't walk, raising dead. The whole wouldn't have thought, couldn't have told me, okay? My dad actually was the first one. He actually had died. He was gone for 15 minutes. And then my mom had called me in and just, she didn't really know where I was spiritually at that time, but she just said, you need to get here and be with your dad. So I just went into the room. I said, come on, Mom, let's pray over him. We did, and I was like, okay, I'm out, right? So everybody's like, April, you just taking this too lightly. And I'm like, what am I going to be upset about? I already know the answer. I already know the outcome. I'm out. I got to go to Texas. I'm going to get my ordination. I got a plane to catch. And they're just like, oh, my gosh. So when I got to Texas, my mom called screaming, and she said, well, let me back up. So before I got on the plane, I went to the hospital, and my dad was still in a coma. They had did an induced coma. And so I said to them, I said, okay, I got to go, but just know that it's a miracle, and he good. I'll see him when I get back. So I told him, stop playing. You had just came back from vacation. Don't mess mine up. I got stuff to do, right? So the doctor came in and was like, oh, you're going to need more than a miracle. And I said, well, what does that look like? And he was like, well, we can't take the breathing tube out unless he's breathing, but he needs it to breathe. And I said, it sounds like a dilemma to me. Like, what? So I said, whatever, he all right, I'm on my way out. So when I arrived in Texas, My mom called me as soon as I got off the plane and was saying the doctor tried to wake him up and was going around his bed and saying it was a miracle. He's up, talking like he had never been in a coma for the last 2 months, right? Since then, I appreciate that, but he has passed, but he left me with a sense of not giving up. You know, people can say it doesn't work. People are gonna say it's a scam. People are gonna say, you know, whatever you're trying to do is not going to work. Not because you say so, but because they say so, right? If they're not healing and laying hands, they say that don't work, right? You need a doctor, or you need this pill or this pill. So anyway, then the second one was Kaiser had written off another one of my clients and said that he would never walk again. His brother had passed, and then while at his funeral, he was doing a cartwheel, landed on his neck and broke his neck, so he couldn't walk. So they said. And so she, some reason she was on my spirit, and I called her, ran into her, and I told her, I said, she was telling me what happened, and I said, what? And then I said, don't worry about it. In 90 days, he'll walk. And she was like, what? And I was like, what? We both said what, right? And so anyway, she said, well, why are you going to say he's going to walk in 90 days? And Kaiser said he's permanently disabled. He will not walk again. And I said, girl, I don't know. I said 90 days. I'll see you on Monday. Some of you guys know how it works. Can't tell me nothing, okay? I'm just saying. That's me, right? I said, he going to walk, and we over it. So at any rate, started working with him 2 days a week and have no idea some of the creative things that we did, but in 6 weeks he took his first step, and now he is continually to walk and so forth. So that continued to happen for the next maybe 4 or 5 years. Just gradually people were showing up in my space, and I always say, nobody is in my space unless they need to be in my space, right? People just don't find me because really I hide. I go in the corner and it's like, don't talk to me, leave me alone, and unless I'm forced to be out, right? Right? And so at any rate, then I found my center I'm at now, found that at 2014, over off Tuolumne Street. It's called Body by Design 2, okay? And so that's the spiritual center. That's when I opened that, it was for women of substance, again, to heal, prosper, and deliver women out of bondage. But it was based on health and wellness, so I do a lot of healing and colonics and colon hydrotherapy and weight loss and that whole bit. Therapy and some everything. So what happened over the last couple of years, fast forwarding, last year, May, April, a friend of mine came in and she had told me about a new opportunity, and she said, I'm with this company. Well, we were trying to find, that was when Bitcoin first came out and they had the AI bots trying to help determine the market. I don't know if you know that, right? And so the first one we did, it didn't work. The second one we didn't work, right? Well, working means that we had invested money and they pulled the money, right? Oh, they gone. Okay, we tried another one, they pulled the money. So this one, when she told me about it, I said, you know, how about when your money doubles, I'll get in. And so she was like, okay, I'm telling you, this one is it. I'm like, whatever, I've heard that before, we're gonna just do it. So then what happened is, because I have the spirit in me, so I couldn't sleep. It's like, get up, go to the computer, look at it. Okay, all the negative stuff, it's a fraud, it's a scam, it's a this, that, and the other. I'm like, okay, Holy Spirit said, look at it. Okay, I'm looking again. The next day, I'm tossing and turning, so she calls me again, and she says, April, I'm at $4,000. And I'm like, girl, that ain't double. Call me when it double. You know, it's like, so she go on, we back and forth, right? But what happened was, because of what my calling is, I'm in my office, and I have somebody on the table, and 4 people, actually it was 3, but the 4th was the final straw. It was 3 people that came in that actually needed additional help that couldn't afford it. And I was like, man, you really need to get some alternative. I mean, there's this place. No, girl, I ain't got that kind of money. And no, I don't have that kind. I'm like, man, we need a bridge. There has to be a bridge that will allow people, especially people of color, but we have everybody, but to get the help, the medical help that you need to take care of your bodies. So the first one came in, the same thing. The second one came in, the third one came in. And then after that, the fourth one was a guy, Dirk, who had helped his friend she lived in New York, and his thing was, he had been going back and forth with her to Mexico to get some alternative health, right, for cancer. And she had went through all of her retirement. And so she could not continue with the treatments because she didn't have the monies, okay, kind of going back. And so I said, Dirk, this is why we have BG, right? It has to be a bridge. Maybe, you start with whatever you're going to start with and just see, because she needs you to assist her and go with her to Mexico because you're her only friend that's left. And she may need the money. You need the money to be able to go with her. So it's like this cycle, right? So I called my girlfriend. I said, send me the link. I'm going to get in. So let me tell you guys what it is, actually. BG is, it's about being and growth. Being who you want to be, where you want to be, when you want to be. And the growth is, again, mentally, just as you were saying, the education of understanding how money works and what you can do with it and what you want to do with it, right? And so BG was actually established in 2012, but we started trading 3 years ago, right? So they started out initially, it's online, it's an app, but with the community. So we started out, when they first started out, you had to physically copy the code. Does anybody know about Bitcoin and trading? A little bit? Okay, a little bit. Okay, me too. All I know is copy and paste. That's what I know, okay? So basically what it is a code. It's like a phone number. You would copy that phone number, you go over to the trade platform, paste it, hit confirm, and that's it. So that is it. That's really it. That's literally it, okay? But what happens is our money actually grows at 1.3% twice a day. Does anybody know about compound interest? A little bit, okay? So can you put the calculator up for me, babe? So we do 2 trades a day, okay? Okay, there you go, thank you. So let me see, because I can't really see this. Okay, so where we have daily compound, can you guys see that? Okay, just type in 500 for me. I delegated. He didn't know he was going to be doing all that. Okay, and then interest rate 1.3. 0.3. And let's just say for 6 months. 6 months. Next one. Okay. And then calculate. Well, yeah, calculate. It's okay. Okay. But you can even, that's okay, because we just need it to be. So what basically happens is when your money is in the banks, does anybody know how much you're getting? Less than 1? 0.01%, right? which means that you might as well have your money at home in your own, under your mattress, wherever you're going to put it, right? But we've been also brainwashed to think that the banks are doing us a favor. We're supposed to put our money in the bank. We're supposed to have a high yield account, which pays 4.5% annually. That's a year. That's 4.5% broken down into 12 months. So they make it sound like it's a lot, but it's not, right? So I had $5,000 in a high yield, and I was making $13 a month, but that's dependent on the market, right? With BG, with what we're talking about, is it's not predicated on the market. So even though it is Bitcoin, we're speculating whether it's going to go up or down. We're guaranteed a win every day. So we actually receive 60 to 65% on every trade. So do you see that number where he has this $746? So you made an investment of $500, and in 1 month, you now have $746. So you already won. No matter what, you already won, right? Because more than you started with, correct, right? So what we do is we actually pull 1% of that $500 out and make a trade on it. So you never risk all of your money. We never put all 500. It's only 1%. So if you started with $500, we're going to only pull $5 out. And then you're going to get anywhere between 60 and 65% of that $5. Now it compounds, so it adds to your base. So now you have $504. The next trade that we do, you're going to still be $5 and point cents, right? But the trade is going to be based on that. So the first one you got, let's say, $3.50. The second one you'll get $3.70. The next one will be $3.80. The next one will be $4. So it just keeps compounding. It keeps adding on to itself, basically. That's fine. Can you scroll it down, though, for me? And do the 6 months? Up. That way, yeah. Instead of 1. Calculate. Okay. So on a $500 investment in 6 months, literally, you would have over $5,000. It's a one-time investment. You never have to add any additional funds to your account. You can always add more money to your account if you want to, but you don't have to. You can withdraw the funds. If you decide once the money doubles and you want to withdraw, then there's always a 12% withdrawal fee. If you withdraw it before it doubles, it's a 20% early withdrawal penalty. That's with any investment mostly, right? You're going to have a penalty, a withdrawal penalty, okay? I started with $1,400, time is going fast. In June last year, so it was 8 months I was told, right? I started in June last year with $1,400, and my account now is over $300,000. I've taken out over $55,000. Mia has, well, you could tell your own story, but I'll come back to it. So the money is real. That's my point. And the other point about it is, as I said, we're usually the last ones to know about something like this. And you can put kids in, you can, use it as a bridge. I don't know what lasts forever. Like we were talking, well, he said, you go to your job and you think your job is secure. You go to the door and it is locked. But you betted on that job. You done lost your retirement. You done lost everything. These things happen. We can't foresee what's going to happen tomorrow. So because it is not a network marketing company, it's not a pyramid. I don't even know what half of those is, right? But I've always done network marketing. I've started back in 1982 with A.L. Williams. I'm 62, right? And so I've done every one of them that has come out. And most of them, except Amway, but they done changed names 10 times, are still around, right? So they come and go. You have good intentions, you hope. But I know that none of the people on my team prior none of them have probably made over $200 in the network marketing products that we've done, right? We started out with, as I said, $1,400, and then to see my account go okay, I know, I get excited, so I'll get all discombobulated. Our money doubles every 54 days. So you could calculate however you need to calculate, right? So scroll down for me, love. And I'm just going to put I'm going to put $1,400 in there for me. Please. And 6 months, and calculate. That's fine, calculate. Okay. 15,000. Now, I, in 6 months, hit $101,000 in 6 months. So December 31st, I hit $101,000. This is February, March, okay? Now it's gone from 101,000 to 200 and whatever, close to 300, right? But I want to say why it did that also, guys. Okay, you do not have to recruit people. You don't have to sign, you don't have to do that. But if you did share, it's a one-time bonus. So if I signed you up, you came in with $1,000, I would get a $100 bonus one time. I just add that to my balance so that my compound grows. The objective is to get that money to grow so the compounding is higher, right? And so right now, starting from me, I still have 2 trades left in my account. We just did one this morning. I'm at $293,209, right? And I still have 2 more trades to go. So I make about $5,700 a day. 50. Does anybody have a calculator? Wait, what? Okay. Where's the calculator? Where is that? I started 8 months ago, guys. Literally, it takes how much?
700 a day. You said?
Mm-hmm.
Let's just do 10 days. Oh, that's 57,000 in 10 days.
Okay. So how long does it take to do, Marquetta?
Okay, let me show you how long it takes. Click, copy, paste.
Yeah, it does. It literally is you would copy the code, paste the code, hit confirm, and that's it. Twice a day, right? I have 3 codes. I do 3 codes a day because starting from me, I have over 500 people on my team, right? Would not have thought. Would not have thought. But why? Because people need a bridge to buy the insurance, to pay for the car, to help mom in the hospital, to do all of these different things. Like I said, the kids are going to get older. Their cars, their college. How many kids don't go to college because they can't afford it? I know I was one of them. I wanted to go to San Diego State, and my mom was like, well, how you going to get there? Oh, I can help you, boo. It ain't happening here, right? And I'm like, well, dang, that's kind of messed up, right? But it's a reality. It's a reality. So as I said, it's a one-time investment. The company is called BG Wealth Sharing. As I said, we have our little things. If you look it up, they're going to say it's a scam. Stay away from it. But it seems like I was listening to a lot of other scams, like the insurances and the banks and everybody else, taking our funds and not giving us part of the wealth, right? So you have to look and do your own due diligence. And as you said, I'm not making any financial claims, but I will say this, your money is going to grow. We're guaranteed a win twice a day, every day. In the event a code fails because trading, it's not because of what's happening out there. It's just maybe they got the numbers wrong. Then we are issued a recovery code. And with that recovery code, you get 3 times the profit from the one that lost. So since June, we've only had 3. So a couple weeks ago, we had a failed code, and my codes are usually $1,700 or so per code. So that one failed. When we did the recovery code, my code was $4,800. I was happy. So we get excited when we have failed codes. So there's no loss with BG, right? And I'm serious. My phone is here, my baby right there. So, there's no loss. The problem with BG is because it is so unlike other companies, right? And especially money-making opportunities, right? That people are going to say it's not real. You can't take your money out. Like I said, I've taken over $55,000 out, right? It's a growing company. We have over 700,000 people in our community. So the systems get bogged down. You can't log in, and then you have to wait and reset your phone. And then, so it has growing pains with all these people. But as far as the money, it grows. So can you do me a favor, love? Can you put in there, I want you guys to see this. And then can you put in there 293,209? 29. $293,209. No, 1 month. Okay. So, no, it's okay. It's okay. So 1 month and calculate. Okay. Now, because I'm a level 4, and I get a monthly dividend, so I'm making extra $1,300 every 10 days, right? Don't have anything to do with my clicks or anything else, but it's a reward from the company for sharing, right? So I get 3 trades a day, 17, 17, 17. And every day it grows, right? It grows. So you see that 437. So my monthly calculation is at 1.9%. Can you change that 1.3 to 1.9? We're talking 1 month. 1.9. Calculate. Big difference, huh? So go up for me and put 2 months, love. Calculate. Okay. 924. Put 3 months. 3. Go down and calculate. We'll stop there. But do you see how much it jumps, though? That's the power of compound interest. It's not me adding more. It's the system. That's what compound interest does. It builds on itself, right? But you're not going to find, there's like maybe 1 or 2 other places that you might be able to find something that compounds, but you will have to dig deep to find it because they don't want us out of poverty. This is how banks are using our money. They're invested in the stock market. They're invested in the IUOs and CEOs and stuff that he was talking about. Okay, right? That's what they do with our money. But they're not going to tell you to do it. They're not even going to let you know that it's available. That's why they keep saying that BG is a fraud and it's Ponzi and all of that, because we got 700,000 people out of poverty. I have people calling me crying that they've never had $3,000 in their bank account, and now they are able to even take $100 a week out to go do what they want to do. It's life-changing, and that's what we're doing. So does anybody have any questions? I'm going to leave it there. Somebody, they saw me do my happy dance. Another?
So, someone asked online if there's any taxes on this.
Oh, good question. Because I'm not a financial advisor, I'm going to say check with your financial advisor. However, there are different ways of moving your money. So you could have a centralized wallet, which means that if it goes through Coinbase, then to your bank account, it's 1099. Or you can take it to a decentralized wallet, like would be what we use is called C-Wallet, and then put it on a debit card or on your phone, a virtual, and you just go tap and take the money out the bank, and it's not 1099. So people on Social Security, people on welfare, people who need to not have their money tracked can go that route, but it's up to you and your financial advisor. Okay, go ahead, babe.
Is $500 the minimum deposit you can use, or can you give anything?
$500 is the minimum that we suggest that you come in with, minimum. You can come in, let's say, with $300, in all honesty, right? But because I know that you're going to want to share this later on, it would not allow you to get the bonuses. So we don't even talk about it. Because I've already had people come back and go, hey, I want the third code. And I'm like, you can't get it because you came in with 300. 300 is just for those that say, I'm not sure about it, I don't trust it, I'm just going to do it because you done forced me into it, and but you don't reap the benefit. So BG is about wealth sharing. You don't have to share, but that's what the company is based on. We want 1 million people out of poverty, financially free, right? Right? So that's what it's for. So those that do share, you get rewarded. So we do have different levels. Like I said, a level 1 would be when you sign up and you bring 5 people in, you become a LV1. That's $30 every 10 days that the company just drops in your account. It doesn't come from your bank account or mine or anybody else's. That's your reward for sharing. LV2, you receive $150 every 10 days. LV3, you receive $500 every 10 days. And that's by sharing, again. LV4, which is what I am, is $1,200 every 10 days. And then it goes up to $10,000. A level 7 is $10,000 every 10 days. We go up to a level 12, but that's so uncomprehensive. Yeah, it's just mind-boggling. Go ahead, baby.
What's the longest amount of time that someone has been in the company or like in the business?
3 years. Shortest time? How do you do short? The shortest time if you haven't got in yet. Like, I don't know.
But like, say like they get started and then like, oh, for real? My bad. Let's just say someone got started and 6 months later they're like, I'm okay.
I can't see that, but because who doesn't want their money to grow? Now, let me say this. There are people that will come in, start with their $500 or $1,000, and then because they're listening to the people who don't have it and don't believe it, they get spooked and say, oh, I just want to get out. Then you can do that. We show you how to do that. It's not easy because you've already started trading. But once your money doubled, then I'll show you how to pull your money out and go. My money is going to grow whether you come in or not. When you see this in a week, it's going to already be 400,000. That's compounding, right? So I don't get a continual dividend on you. You just become numbers, right? But whoever brought you in, they'll get a one-time bonus and then, a couple of extra signals in order to grow their account, and then that's it. That's all they get off of you, nothing else, no more, until they go and find the next person to share it with. So you always get rewarded for sharing. Not only the person coming in, but the person who shared it with you always get rewarded.
My question is this something that you have to maintain daily? Because I heard you mention codes and all
Twice a day. So we get trades twice a day. It used to be at 10:30 in the morning and 4:30. Now it's at 10 o'clock and 4 o'clock, but sometimes it come at 3:30 on up. So what they started doing, because we have over 700,000 people, they started rolling the codes out at different times. But for us, because I have people in Jamaica and Philippines, Australia, all over, when they get the code, they just post it in our group. So usually we will see the code about 9:30 within our group, and you just copy it and paste it and be finished with it for the day. But it's twice a day.
So is that 10 and at what time? Like
10 and 4. 30 minutes. You have 30 minutes to put the code in. It's actually more like an hour, but we want to say 30 minutes because it doesn't take you that long. It takes you literally, what? What? No, not what to you. I was saying what to her. How long do you think it took? 5 seconds. Literally about 5 seconds. So if you see the code, copy it, paste it, and be finished with it.
So my question is, what happens if you miss pasting in the code?
Your money doesn't grow. It just grows if it's added. So you actually have to do the trade in order for the money to grow.
Okay, so it doesn't cancel you out or anything. Okay.
Your money could sit there for weeks on and it'll stay the same until you copy that code and paste it.
Okay.
And then it grows after that. Any other questions? Oh.
Okay, my question is, you said 10 a.m. and 4 p.m. Is that
Every day.
Pacific time?
Yeah.
It's
Pacific.
our time. Because
yes,
you said you have people all over. So it's
Mhm.
whatever time code you're in.
It's whatever time code,
Whether you're in
time
Central
zone
or
you're
East
in,
or-
it's going to equate here. Yeah.
Okay. And then the next question is, what's the largest amount you've seen people withdraw? They still stay in, but what's the largest you've seen them actually withdraw?
Personally, like Mia just did 25,000 a couple weeks ago, and 100,000. But let me say this: you can withdraw all of it. I can withdraw every dime that I have in there today, but why would I do that, right? So what you should be doing is understanding the power of compound interest. And what you do is, if let's say you know that you have you want to put down $10,000 on something, you just want to pull out like maybe a couple, maybe 2,000 or 3,000 at a time, so that your principal stay high, right? And so the next day, it's almost where you were, and you pull out 2,000 instead of you being at 100,000 and you pull out 50,000. Now you're compounding on 50 instead of 100. It's a big difference on the growth, on how it grows.
So say if you're very skeptical, or a family member, whoever you say is very skeptical, they just want to start with the 3. Can they start with the 3, and then once they see that it works, they pull out all their money and then redo it? They can't do that? Okay.
Yeah.
No, I mean after it doubles and they can't.
Well, you could pull out your money, if I'm understanding you. They could start with 300, and they could double. They could pull out the 6 and then add 5. Is that what you're saying?
Yeah, and reinvest with 5. They can't do. Okay.
Well, you could do that, but your first initial investment is what matters.
Got you. Okay.
Do you trust the system or not? You gonna be in or you're not? Right. That.
So my next question is, say like you do pull out 25,000, 100,000. What does taxes look like?
Again, it depends on how you want to move your money. So, because I'm not a tax advisor, I would suggest that you, so you're going to choose either decentralized wallet or centralized wallet. That's how that works.
Okay.
Correct. Yes.
Okay, so my understanding for withdrawing is there's 2 options. There's the centralized wallet, which is recorded with a 1099 based on whatever your tax bracket is, right? And then the decentralized C wallet is that you transfer it to the C wallet, but there's not really a paper trail.
Correct. Okay, reading between the lines.
Okay,
Yes.
scholars.
Yes.
Any
more?
other questions?
Okay. Well,
So- Go ahead.
No, I just want to say thank you guys for listening, but I do want Mia to tell her story when she comes up here, and
I gotta practice. Hype me up. Okay, so my name is Mia. I joined probably like a couple weeks after my mom. She goes where the money is, so I'm always gonna follow her. So I'm a level 2 now in the company, so I'm a junior advisor. I started with $500, probably a little less than that came in, and I was skeptical at first, but like I said, I'm gonna follow her. So today I am at about 70,000. I probably would have had more if I didn't pull out that 25,000 to buy my dream car. Okay, so that's where I am now.
and you just got it. Oh. Stop being shy. You better not cry. And she got her car.
And I got my car.
What's your car?
2026 BMW X6 competition. Yeah.
So, and that's within 8 months, right? So, like I said, it doesn't matter. Like I would tell some of my girlfriends before, when I first met my husband 30 years ago, right? Oh, I don't like him. I don't know. He ain't the right one for you, you know. And I said, if I would have listened to them, I wouldn't be happily married for 30 years, right? So you have to do your own due diligence, and there always going to be somebody who's going to tell you that you shouldn't do it. But I'm going to tell you guys from the bottom of my heart that this is real. And if you have any inkling or desire to help other people, to change your own financial situation, this is it. You don't have to plan to stay in this for 10 years. Use it for what it's worth. Take your money out as you see fit. Pack it somewhere else. I don't care, right? But do it, because there is not an option quite like this. And as I said, if I did see it, I probably wouldn't go anyway, because BG pays. We don't have any complaints. You don't have to wait for no money. Ain't nobody closing no doors, okay? So I want to appreciate and thank you guys for listening. If you have any questions, ask Mia or Marquetta. And you have another question. Go ahead. Based on the, thank you, good one, right? So what you would actually do is we would need to send you a invitation link, and then you would download an app called Bond Chat, and then you would just register. And then the hardest part and the biggest decision is how much you want to come in with, because remember, Bitcoin is a currency. It's not cash, so you can't just say, here, April, here's my $500. I have to convert that into crypto in order to put it into the wallet, but I can do that. Okay.
She did mine, and it works. I promise you.
Yeah.
I was like, I'm not gonna share. Let me see if it worked, but it really does. When I started, I was talking to Nana. I was like, Nana, I got $100 extra. I just got excited every time I seen it grow, and I was like, because I do. I have my money in banks. I got about a lot of accounts. I'll just say that, and it's like they gave me 1 cent this year. Yeah. They said it for the year. You made 1 cent the whole year. Thank you.
Yes.
But this one definitely worked.
Yeah, you know, like I said, if you are skeptical and you just really just like, nah, I don't know, that's okay, because it's not for everybody. But what I will say is that it is real and it does work. And like I said, our money is going to grow whether you come in or not, but we would love to have you to be able to go and play with us, right? Because making all the money by yourself is not fun. Right? Because I know I've always been self-employed, and I'm always saying, can I just find a few girlfriends that got their own dang money? Like, why y'all keep looking at me, right? That's what this is for. So thank you guys. Any other questions? No? We're good?
Mia, can I take a ride in the car? That's all.
Okay.
That was the only other question I had is, can I take a ride? Yeah, it won't. It's okay though. We were gonna have Miss Carter go, but y'all haven't eaten. Do you mind going after, or do you have somewhere to be? I want to honor and respect your time. Oh yeah, we're gonna commune and fellowship. And Pastor, can you bless the food, and then we're gonna eat. Don't eat all the food, okay? Take 1 cupcake at a time. That is my request. So I'm not gonna say no names. Demetrius. I'm just playing with them. I'm just playing. We play like that. Okay, I'm sorry.
All right. Let's bow our heads. Father, we just thank you right now for this time, and we thank you, Father, for the food that we are about to receive. We thank you, Father, that it shall be strengthening and nourishing to our bodies. In Jesus' name, amen.
All right, let's come together real quick. Is there people still out there? Okay, can you tell them? Thank you. I'm not gonna be up here. No, we're gonna move over here. Come on. No, Miss Carter's gonna be up here. Go sit in the audience. Before you get in trouble, go sit in. Yeah. No, go sit in. All right, this is the final part. How are you guys feeling so far? Did you learn something? Yeah? Okay. All right. Please share this out to people. We're going to have another one coming up quarterly, so we'll let you guys know about that. Where is my girl, Gabrielle? Miss Gabby? She stepped outside. Those are distractions. I will put them at the end next time we have an event. I will go take these with you and go on. I want to announce, like, Miss Carter, I met her. She said she'd been watching me for some years. Yeah, she had to investigate to make sure I was legit. No, seriously. She don't just play with anybody. And so she called me up for an event, right? And I answered the call, said, I'm coming. And so we've been just talking ever since. She has a wealth of knowledge and a wealth of network that, man, I can't believe. So I'm going to allow her to introduce what she does. She does a lot. She is multifaceted and an entrepreneur and just an overall great woman to be around. So I'll let her introduce herself.
Good afternoon. My name is Deidre Carter. First, giving honor to the pastor, first lady of this house. I am, just give you a little background, native of Vallejo. I am nobody extraordinary, but I'm somebody's wife. I'm somebody's mother. I'm somebody's friend. I'm somebody's daughter. And with that, I started a company called Hedge of Protection. Next slide, please. And so with that, my disclaimer is I am not a physician. I'm not an attorney. I'm not a healer. I just have been through enough storms in this life and got enough stripes on my back to tell you about some things, some unexpected things. And so the next slide. And so I don't know if you can see the white part, but 12 years ago, this came to me through something catastrophic. And the first thing that came to my mind was God built a fence around me about my thoughts and how I move forward. And that catastrophic event, let me get to my notes. Hold on. So let me just read this part. Hedges can indeed protect various aspects of life and property. They serve as natural barriers that provide privacy, security, and a sense of enclosure. I won't read the bottom part to you. And then, so next slide, please. But nothing can prepare you for heartbreak. Nothing can protect you from a catastrophic event, unless y'all got some secret y'all know about that I don't know about. Unexpected tragedies, and as somebody spoke about earlier, sudden illnesses. You cannot predict. Next slide, please. So I'm gonna park right here for just a few moments. I want you to look at that car. And what's your first thought? Anybody want to give an idea what happened here? Okay, okay, okay. How do you feel about walking up on something like that or seeing something like that? Okay, okay. That's when my son was in the back seat of this car. And this is what I saw when I got to the scene of the accident. And my baby wasn't there. And I always grew up in church, and my grandmother was this person who just never cried, you know, so I had to put on my face. So I had to put on this face so I could talk to the ambulance and talk to the police department and the fire department. And said, oh, well, we had to take him away in a helicopter. And in the distance, I saw the helicopter flying away, and I was like, Lord Jesus, this must be feeling something like Abraham sacrificing Isaac, because I knew it was out of my control what was happening next. And so I got to John Muir Hospital, and they asked who I was. Now, we're getting ready to jump into some HIPAA, because there's some privacy here, because they can't tell me nothing about my child. Okay? That's the law. Okay? So after some grueling moments with some of the staff, who are you, who is he? And because he was grown, I couldn't act on his behalf or make decisions. That was my first heartbreak. I can't act, what do you mean I can't talk about my baby? You can't talk to me. What condition is he in? And I went into they finally let me into the room. And you ever seen on TV when they show this big blaring like you're going to heaven? The light was just so illuminating that I was like, okay, God, you must be up in here somewhere, because I need you right now. I took my keys out my pocket, and he never moved. I said, okay, get it together, Deidre. Don't break down, because you need to find out what the medical diagnosis, what's the prognosis, where are we going with this? Doctor said, well, I'm going to have a family meeting with you guys, because it's not looking good. So I'm at breakdown point right now, but you can't break down because you need the information. Okay, so who do I call? I don't know no attorney in the middle of the night or a judge to give me the authority. Okay, so he's in John Muir. He's on a bed. I go hang up some pictures just in case he wake up and I'm not there and he don't know who he is or to whom he belongs. Doctor said, well, you know, we're going to send him to a facility because we can't care for him here long. Well, what do you mean for that? Well, he's got a trach. He's got a stage 4 bed sore. So we're going to take him down to Bakersfield. You a lie. You a lie. I said, okay, I'm a pretty smart individual. My mother raised a powerhouse. I'm getting ready to go look it up, and I'm finna call on some folks. I don't care if they're in the bed asleep, but somebody gonna help me navigate through this process. So we pushed that one aside. That's one door closed. So I started talking to the social workers, and I was like, man, you ain't in here cussing us out. Why would I cuss you out and you get caring for my baby? Yeah, I need information. I need you to help me. I didn't go to medical school. So back to the car accident, there was another gentleman in there and the ICU, and we moved to a skilled nursing facility, and my son wakes up from his induced coma, and he's in a chair. He's half the size he originally was, and I'm praying and talking to administrators and all that other kind of stuff. Something was birthed inside of me. How many people know how to navigate that with an adult child? And does anybody here have a power of attorney on that adult child? Or that cousin you've been raising to go in and out of jail? Or the one jumping in and out of folks' windows? Because guess what? You're going to need the paperwork, whether they live or whether they die. So there's a couple of things. God gave me the words, hedge of protection, and I kind of explained what the hedge was. And to tie it into this money matters, if you don't have these documents and have them notarized or scanned into your medical record, you're going to have to go get an attorney. So that's another tie-in. Anybody got some money for an attorney to run in and out of our hospital? Because I didn't. Matter of fact, I applied for FMLA and didn't get it till I went back to work. Y'all got some money? What about the lunchroom at the hospital with the overpriced nasty food? The parking at Kaiser downtown Oakland. That's about $12 a day. Nobody tells you about that part, okay? And I have a young son at home who needs his mom. My husband went back to work because somebody had to keep the lights on. Nobody talks about that. And then I'm grieving, and I don't have time to even go seek help for myself, okay? So hedge of protection is really two things. If you are in this situation with an adult child, and really my target audience is folks who are single, unmarried. If you don't have a living trust and a will, go get those two simple documents. What's $15 to get your power of attorney signed to give somebody to act on your behalf? Or scanned into your medical record. Get the document scanned. You don't have to be a Kaiser member. There's one on the internet. Get it done. Well, it seems like we're never prepared. I can't tell you how many stories in this 13 years people call me, Deidre, how did you do this? And I'm going to share just a couple little stories. I had a girlfriend, we grew up. Her son was born the same month my son was, same age. He went to American River College, graduated with his AS degree, and he went to Morehouse. All his partners went to Morehouse. He wanted to go. Mom wasn't that savvy at filling out paperwork, and neither was he, because he knew it. He thought he knew everything with the AS degree, but the life experience. So he gets down there, and he couch surfing. He doesn't have the meal plan. He doesn't have a steady place to stay. And guess what? They find him laying down. He done had a stroke at 23 years old. My friend, who works for the Franchise Tax Board, couldn't afford to go down there. You know why? Those very aforementioned things that I talked about. Where's she gonna stay at? Hotel is what, $300 a night? Then you need a car. Then you gotta eat. Gotta keep your bills paid in California. So and let me just add this part. So we send our kids out of the country, not out of the country and in the country, away every year to go off to college, and we never have a POA. Kaiser's gonna tell you you didn't get an authorization. Sutter's gonna tell you you didn't get an authorization. How many of you knew about that? And that, because guess what? Without that authorization, they ain't paying. Let's see, I think it was the first 2 days, if I'm not mistaken, I won't lie, in Kaiser Emergency in ICU was over $200,000. By the time he got to the SNF, they wanted $9,000 a month. Where am I get that from? I ain't making that, not bringing it home. So my share with each of you today is take the time to take those two documents and get them done for your loved one, your nephew, your niece, your cousin, your brother, your unmarried brother who think he's invincible. Okay? Okay? Guess what? What you also need to know is what benefits they have on their job. My son had his own apartment. I had to go and get assistance to go clear out his apartment. I didn't have money to go and hire a sheriff and go through all that to go get this and that because I wasn't allowed in his apartment. His car sat at a business on Springs Road for 2 weeks because I wasn't supposed to move his car. We couldn't find the key. So all those things matter. So take the time out. This is just my story for today. Take time out for your adult children to ask them what they got going on, what insurance they have, what benefits they have, and in most cases in this economy, match it as the people that were here earlier. Anybody have any questions? That's my story. Yes.
So where do you find these documents if you don't have an attorney?
You can find those documents online. Advance Directive, Kaiser gives you a pamphlet that's free right in their front offices.
And it has to be notarized once you fill it out?
Not that one, not that one. You can have 3 lay people do that one. The POA, you need a notary. I'm a notary, she'll be a notary in 5 minutes.
Okay.
Okay.
Do you know, I thought I saw online the other day, but I think you can get items notarized at the library. Do they have a notary that comes to do that? Do you know?
I'm not sure about the library. They may.
Okay.
You know, they do have a lawyer in the library.
Yeah.
But they really deal with tenant law.
Oh, okay, okay.
I know there are different powers of attorney, like there's a medical power of attorney, there's a general power of attorney. Are you talking about one that covers
Durable.
Durable.
Express permission. There are check marks. So you don't want to give everybody your financial rights.
Right.
I'm not saying that. Everybody can't handle that. If I had the kind of money Miss April had, I wouldn't give it away either. So yeah, be very careful in who you think about being there. And are they going to honor your wishes? Mm-hmm. You know, people say one thing and they do something else.
So your company essentially like helps people gain access to this information or the documentation or help navigate through the process?
Absolutely, all of that right there, because I don't want anybody to have been in the situation that me and my family was in.
Understood.
And let me just stop right there because you just made me think of something before I forget. He didn't pass away.
Amen to that.
He's a thriving young man. He's a coach. He's a father, and I'm very proud. And he does a lot of things in the community with people with disability. He's a quadriplegic. Mm-hmm. Okay. Thank you for your time.
So, advance directive and a power of attorney.
Yes.
And the one you said that we need to be looking at.
Durable. You want
Durable.
Identify what you want to give this person power to be able to act on it.
Durable. Yeah.
How long is the power of attorney? Do you give a time limit, or is it automatically a certain time limit?
It's only good when you're living. You pass away. It's only good when you're living. When you pass away, it's no longer valid. And so in case of incapacitation, so my son couldn't talk. So we've all had loved ones that go in the hospital, that can't speak for themselves. You got family fighting over who gonna do what, where, when, and how. And mama said this and nothing is written. If it isn't written, it doesn't exist. One more time. If it isn't written, it doesn't exist.
How do we contact you?
I'm going to give you guys that information. I'm going to hang out by that door, and I'm going to call you, and we're going to set an appointment. And that appointment, let me just be very strategic in what I'm saying right here. This is very personal. I take your privacy seriously. I don't go and say, oh, that's the man who had the nephew that he talked about like a dog. I don't do that. I don't do that. This is very personal and very close to my heart, this work.
All right. So various aspects of finances, because we don't think about this part. Like things happen but out of our control, and if you are an adult child or somebody's child, think about who you want, or somebody's cousin. Who would you want to give voice to if you were laying on your back, right? I got to think about that now. Because some people, you know, they might say, take him out. Pull the plug today. I'm going to just tell y'all on camera and record, I didn't say that, okay? So keep this public record that I didn't say pull the plug. If I can get up and walk, I'm going to do it, okay? All right. But I'm going to put it on, if it ain't written, it didn't happen. So we're going to put it on wax, or as the young people call it. We're going to put it on paper and make sure that, so trust and wills are important. We're about to wrap up because we're supposed to be done at 2. And I'm going to honor that. But give me a few minutes to just say, was this not amazing time? I learned so much again. What's happening? You have, okay, she has something to say. Hold on.
And we have free shirts.
Oh, no, we don't have free shirts, but thank you. We might have a giveaway. Come on. Scratch that, YouTube community. Not free, okay? Free 99 is not my way. Okay. We do have some shirts. Don't, little girl. Somebody get the little girl back there. I don't know whose kid that is, but you need to get her. Oh, okay. We had a good time. Next time I'll have a real estate investor up here and a broker. So my friend couldn't come. Shout out to Carla. She wants to talk about investment and the importance of investing and owning property. Listen, because that's one of the ways we can pass down generational wealth. We just had a tragedy, and this is the 3rd generation of a house being passed down for my husband. So, right, his aunt sent it to his father, who just recently passed, and now he's an owner. And so when you have ownership like that, you get to pass down something, right, to somebody else. You're setting them up for success, and we don't do that a lot in our community. And I'm not saying everybody needs to own, but if you do own, I didn't know I would be a 2-time homeowner. Like, I'm like, oh, rental property is nice, right? Because I figured a couple years back, I said, if I have 5 rental, just in case SSI go out, right? Because we're banking on we worked 40 years in a job, and we bank on that money afterward. That pension is what they used to call it. I don't think they have pension anymore. They don't have pension, no. So we used to bank on that, oh, if I work 40 years, then, and then right now I'm seeing people only get $1,000 a month. For 40 years, you slave for 40 years. And PG&E takes up their whole check a month. You ain't paid mortgage, you ain't ate yet. You haven't even paid your cell phone bill, and you can't watch cable. And you've worked that long. So you really have to think about, like, how do I set myself up? So my goal is to own properties so that, hey, there's income that's gonna come in that I don't even need to, right? I don't need to go out and do 1,000 things. It's coming to me, rental income. So just stuff to think about. And I know the interest rate is high in the market, but there's no bad time to buy in California because the market is high. Like, I'm just telling you that there's no bad time. People used to be like, oh, girl, you want to buy? This house is kind of ghetto. You sure you want to do this? There's always a naysayer. And, oh, this is not a good time. They told me that back then. So you have to really, really be strategic in how you want to plan your future. You plan for retirement now. You don't wait until you retire. I've seen that. I've seen generation now, they're like, I wish I could, woulda, coulda, shoulda. Well, it's you in retirement. You can't woulda, coulda, shoulda now, right? So just think about financial investment in those, like real estate. There's nothing wrong with buying a 1-bedroom house. You never know what that is like in the future. Like, seriously, people are like, I know, I need 3 with a upstairs and downstairs. I bought a home in probably one of the neighborhoods that they said, oh, that's not safe. But right now, people are calling me, can we buy your home with cash? No, thank you. I know that game too. We sell ourselves short by selling our property early. Because we like, oh, I can get 10,000 today. You could have got 100,000 in 10 years, right? Like, we don't think about long term. We go for the short term game, which sometimes can put us in a pickle. It depends. Some people need to sell their property because they can't really handle the mortgage. So there's a thing called like, we're spending above our means. So they're getting a $4,000 a month. That's how much it is now for some of these homes that was worth $100,000 back in the day, right? They're getting a $4,000 a month mortgage and they lose it. So you want to actually stay within your means when you're buying and investing. Remember the future goal, not the present circumstance. All right, that was all my little tidbit. It is 2:04. I'm trying to stay true to time. Thank you guys. Is there any last questions? Any last? Hagi? No more. Okay. No, okay, no more. Anything else? Anything you want to say? Okay. Oh, somebody, can you take her mic? Oh, she got one.
You mentioned Carla. Is that her name? Are you gonna give out her contact information?
I will. She has her own, this woman is amazing. She went from a realtor to owning her own brokerage. That's where you can get loans and connect. So that's why I really wanted her to come up, because she was a single mom and managed to go from that real estate, getting a real estate license, to now I own a whole brokerage and I have people under me. Like, super dope, amazing, smart woman, and can tell you all about the market and finances, but I'll be providing her information. Yeah. Okay?
Thank you.
Yeah. You want to pray? Come on.
So I just wanted to pray, if that's okay. All right. Heavenly Father, we thank you and praise you for who you are. We acknowledge you as sovereign. We see you as the Most High God, in control of all things. Lord, there's been a lot that have happened today, a lot of stories, a lot of things that we have learned, a lot of opportunities. Lord, I pray that you would give us wisdom, that we will make decisions that are according to your will and not our self-will. I pray, Lord God, that you would bless every person that came in this building today, that you would bless them in their health, that you would bless them in their finances, that you would bless them in their mind. Lord, I pray that you would cover the shepherd of this house, that you would bless him in his finances, bless him in his wisdom. Give him divine counsel, Lord, that he makes decisions that are according to what you have for him. Lord, I pray for every woman, every man, every child. I pray that you would get us home safely and that we would find our home the way we left them. Lord, we just praise you because you are good, you are kind, you are loving, you are faithful, you are holy, you are just, and you are righteous. We thank you for this day. We praise you in Jesus' name. Amen.